It's time to put the remote control down. The talking heads are done. It's time for unfiltered takes over a nightcap. You're invited inside to discuss the weekend's biggest disasters, the surprising heroes, and everything that got missed over the course of the weekend. This is where the best late-night sports talk happens. Welcome inside the ETB Lounge. And now, here's your bartender of banter for the evening, Callan McClurg. Good evening. Before we get the show started tonight, I'd like to take a few moments of your time for something more important than box scores, Daytona 500 victories, and Olympic gold medals. Earlier on Monday, a senseless act of violence shattered a high school hockey game in Pawtucket, Rhode Island earlier today. As somebody who's devoted their life to the sport of hockey for the last 25 years, and 18 of those 25 being behind a microphone to call the sport, I can tell you firsthand that the rink is supposed to be a sanctuary. A place where kids learn who they are and where families come together through wins and losses and overtime and shootout losses. When that code is violated, it affects the entire hockey community, from San Diego, California to New England and everywhere else in between. Tonight, we open up the show by saving a seat at this bar for those who were lost today. We hold the victims, the survivors, and the families facing the trauma of this day in our hearts and our thoughts throughout the course of our 2-hour program. And tonight, all of us are with you. In the meantime, the lights are up at the Intuit Dome. The ice is melting in Milano, and Sam Darnold is still somewhere in Seattle, wondering if this is all a fever dream. Welcome inside the ETB Lounge, gang. My name is Callan McClurg, and we just sat through a weekend where Anthony Edwards officially snatched the keys to the NBA. The new All-Star Tournament format actually made guys play defense. Shocking, I know. But Ant-Man of the USA Stars team turned the Intuit Dome into their own personal highlight reel. Down in Florida, we watched Tyler Reddick survive a Daytona 500 that looked more like a demolition derby to give Michael Jordan another trophy for the case. And over in Italy, Norway is currently treating the Olympic Games like a private invitational, hoarding gold medals like they're worried the rest of the world might find out how much fun skiing actually is. And a 41-year-old USA superstar finally claims her gold medal. But the sports world, as we know, though, everybody, doesn't stop spinning. We've got the receipts on the NBA's new round-robin experiment and why Victor Wembanyama might be the only person on earth who can make a 12-minute minigame look like a cinematic masterpiece. A Super Bowl hangover in New England that just got very real as Stephon Diggs is dealing with some serious legal fallout that has his future looking as cloudy as a Foxborough morning. And right here in my backyard, the Padres gave A.J. Preller a multi-year extension, giving the man a lifetime supply of trade chips to keep playing for his favorite game. Who can I swap for the next big shortstop today? At the bar tonight is the man who keeps the tabs flowing and the lights on. That's Nick Morgasen. And the resident schoolmaster himself, the one and only Tom Albano, joins us as well. Gentlemen, the scoreboards are off. The stadiums are empty, but in here, the lights stay on, and the conversation is just beginning. The lounge is open on a beautiful, wet, cold, and rainy Monday here in Southern California, February 16th, 2026. Gentlemen, we've got a 500-mile wreck to dissect, an Olympic medal count to envy, and a reminder that no matter how dark the day gets, the game goes on. Let's get down to business. Nick, great to see you as always, my friend. How are we doing tonight?
Well, when it's not snowing here in New York, it's fine. And I had a freaking shovel. We actually got like an inch or two extra of snow out here. I'd love to be in California right now and let it rain. Even though you say the drivers are bad in California.
They're awful when it comes to the rain. Trust me.
But you know what? It's a great night. I can shit all over the NBA All-Star Weekend, which I did last night. And I'm still going to do it because I think it was awful and not handled properly. But we'll have plenty of time for that.
And, of course, Tom Albano is joining us on a school holiday on the East Coast. Mr. Albano, it's always great to have you aboard, my friend. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes, actually off for the week. So there's actually some extra time where I can sit down and be part of this thing, which is absolutely fun. I was on last night as Nick Morgasen was with Nick D and the weekend crew. And now back for round 2 here at the bar.
Yes,
exactly.
The more sports-centered show.
Yeah, more sports here for the Monday program. A couple of business notes real quick, folks. Again, follow the show on social media. We are at the ETB Lounge and at ETB Network, of course, as we get ever so closer to those 4,000 watch hours. Go and find us, too, at youtube.com/ETB Network. Nick, I think we have a couple of program notes that we wanted to get through. First of all, I think this is actually happening. Yours truly is filling in for our good man, Johnny Montalbano, with Mr. DiMartino on MTGP this week, because Johnny, I believe, is done, or he's out for the week, I want to say. So bring in the righty from the bullpen. But also, Nick, we had a pretty massive meeting as well earlier in the afternoon concerning a potential sports rights deal for the ETB network.
Wait, yeah. ETB network, a broadcaster?
Yes. So we are, well, Callan is most of the reason for this happening, but at the same time, we were throwing around some ideas on how to grow watch hours, and all of a sudden I said, I started watching your San Diego Draft League, Elite League, sorry. I should get the name right if we're going to work with them. But it's cool. It's a different version. It's roller hockey. It's not the normal ice hockey you think of, or the NHL or any of that. And we started getting to work, and it looks like we're going to be doing like our own version of Sunday Night Football with this San Diego Elite Draft League on Saturday nights. It's going to be doubleheader action. Yes, ESPN, we can do doubleheaders better than you. I promise. We're going to do a full pregame show. We're going to have commercial break spots, which we're going to build in. We're going to do interviews with the lead players. I even came up with a great idea because, Tom, you know this from all the time of us covering football over this network. How annoying is the interview that they do with the sit-downs? Like for Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, they're boring, right?
I only tune in when it's time for, like, when the studio people make their pregame picks.
So what we're doing is we're going to take the 2 best players from the matchup, and we're going to put the interviewer in between.
Oh, we're going to do a side-by-side face-off kind of thing?
Yes. And we're going to make it. I don't want John McEnroe inside the studio, but
you cannot be serious.
Yes. But I want a little bit of entertainment and some drama out of these interviews instead of just being like, I'm off to Cincinnati or
okay, Bill.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's boring. No one gives a shit.
I'm not wearing the thing today, but
I mean, and I have the hood, but it doesn't.
I was going to put my hood on, but I didn't.
But yeah, so we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing every Saturday for the entire season. We are what would you say, the exclusive broadcaster in that regard?
I would say that, and we have another thing that's lined up for July that I'm working on to keep the content going during a lengthy 11-day break for league operations. That is coming. We're working out all the details. For those wondering, the draft is April 4th. The first games are May 9th. So we're pretty dang close already, about 3 months away to go.
And that's going to be a busy time of the year because we have the NFL draft coming up that week also. And thank God my Disney trip was planned for next week After that?
Yes.
Or was it before? No, it's before that. Sorry, the week before that.
Yeah, no, wait, because isn't it during like my spring break or something that I'm filling in for you, or right after it that I'm filling in for you on sports?
I think so. Yeah. So I will be away. You're gonna have to do my show. Someone's gonna have to do press row. It's gonna be there's a lot of hats. Tom knows this. Like when I walk away and I go on vacation, like everything changes around here for some reason, and that's not a good thing.
Everybody's walking on eggshells. Why?
But
and then it's people like Callan and I who are holding up the ship.
Yeah, you and Callan and Zan and Nico. Let's put it this way: the last time I went on vacation, there wasn't as many people running the operation. Now there's 4 people running the operation, so I don't have to. I mean, I'm gonna. Thank you, Pete Weber. But I'll have my laptop with me because I always do, and I don't know what the word "off switch" means. But yeah, that's basically what 99% official at this point.
Pretty much. We're still working a couple of things out though when it comes to personnel and things, but you'll see content from the league. You'll see content from us with the league, trying to again get eyeballs onto a very much niche sport, especially in a market like Southern California. But we're going into year 3 already of this odyssey here in Southern California. As our meeting had said, though, I mean, we have players locally, players who come across state lines and county lines to join us, though, for a 10-week season plus a pretty cool trophy named after yours truly, which I still can't get over after the last couple of seasons. Still can't believe it.
The McClurg Cup, right?
The McClurg Champions Cup. Yes, I still can't believe it.
Close enough. But yeah, so we are going to have a league partner, as weird as that sounds, actually. So we're going to be airing games and we're going to be doing interviews, and you're going to see live reads come back. No, it's not playback. It's not Novig. I promise. It's not going to be
clown show.
Well, yeah, they both were. Well, originally the plan was that we were going to do these through playback TV, but then there was all these headaches of who needs a VIP, who doesn't need a VIP.
And it was a gamble we weren't ready to take just yet when I first came here, literally almost a year ago, coming up in early April.
So we're ready now. You're going to see hockey. You're going to see live reads for our broadcasts come up every Saturday. We're going to have to figure out Lounge on Saturday because those games
we will.
Those are at 10:30 and 11:30, both of those games. Eastern time. So we're going to have to figure out something. But we're going to be busy because when does that season start again?
May 9th.
Okay, so it doesn't interfere with the NFL.
Actually, it'll run from May. It'll run from May till late August because we have those at least 2 or 3 built-in bye weeks to accompany other tournaments that we're playing in. Not me.
Actually, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, Kristie's show better only be like half an hour. It usually is, but strict.
Or
she's got to move up too.
Well, we can figure that out. It's a good problem to have with all this.
Very good problem. And you'll be getting 10 weeks of regular season play and a 3-week sprint to the finish line for the championship trophy, all here on ETB within the next couple of months.
Yeah, so
we're excited.
We're bringing hockey, which is the one sport we did not have here, or at least we didn't do it well the first time. Sorry, Callan. That's not a reflection on you.
But this is more, but I mean, if anything, this is more of a homegrown league trying to find their footing, and they have the footing, and now it's just a matter of taking it to the next level.
I told Callan eventually I'd like that to be branded out into an NHL podcast that we could get someone to host, and then this could be connected to that. But let's say baby steps. Baby steps.
But we are excited about that. We had a great meeting with League Commissioner Josh Fontaine today, and we're excited. We're still getting a few T's crossed and I's dotted as we go across the next couple of days or weeks. But we're looking forward to the challenge and looking forward to welcoming the SDEDL, the ETB. All right, gentlemen, let's get into the program though. Round of takes first up. Biggest win on tap, fellas, goes to the USA Stars team over the USA Stripes team to wrap up the NBA All-Star Weekend from the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. The new USA versus World Tournament format actually worked, so people say.
We keeping the book right now, we ask.
Thank you, Cam Ward. Anthony Edwards, the MVP, proved that the league belongs to the Stars now, while the Stripes, led by LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, looked ready for the retirement tours. So, Tom Albano in Square 2. Is the NBA All-Star Game officially fixed, Are we just overly excited because Kawhi Leonard actually tried for 12 minutes in gameplay in his own arena for the NBA's liking? Your thoughts on All-Star Weekend?
Well, I think I'm a little biased in this because, and I'll admit that, because like I said last night's edition of Lounge, I really liked what the NHL did last year in that instead of doing a traditional All-Star Weekend, they did the Four Nations, which is similar but not quite the same to what the NBA has done this year. Obviously, there is no NHL All-Star Weekend this year, All-Star festivities, I should say, because the teams are and all the players are in the Olympics. That being said, I would say we've made a step in the right direction for the NBA, but I am far from ready from calling NBA All-Star Weekend fixed. Now, as far as the 5 o'clock Eastern time slot goes for the skills competition, that's not all of the fault of the NBA because obviously they got the Olympics going on, and NBC is not giving up the Olympics
Hell to
prime
the no.
time slot, especially all that they did, in the negotiating rights with the NFL to ensure that they will get the Super Bowl every year that they do the Winter Olympics. So now they have the Winter Olympics, Super Bowl, and NBA All-Star Weekend in the same year, which is crazy to think about. But that being said, the All-Star Games, if you want to call it that, the competition they did, not as fun as the NHL Four Nations, but still a step in the right direction. I like what they were doing with it, but it doesn't fix the other stuff. Because when I was younger, I loved tuning into the slam dunk competition. And I thought that they did something pretty interesting a few years ago when they introduced this little team play thing with the NBA and WNBA stars. And now it's stretched into this team competition, which the Knicks ended up winning. So just add another thing that's not an NBA championship to their banners.
That's not even the one I was thinking.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Okay, Peter Griffin.
But to Nick's point, I mean, I looked at the names of the people in the slam dunk competition, and that's exactly what I was thinking. But also, I mean, I think the format is a little strange now because I'm one of those that keep it simple, stupid. I missed the days where it was just the judges holding up the card, and instead we got to do all this math now to figure out the scores. And I mean, my God, the fact that a player nearly missing the time limit to get a dunk off in the very final dunk.
That shouldn't be possible.
After getting a perfect 50, the first final dunk, it's like, that's how the slam dunk contest is going to end? I long for the days, I'm not Dwight Howard's biggest fan, but I long for the days of Dwight Howard doing Superman. Jumping over the car to end
Blake
the
Griffin
slam
jumping
dunk
over
contest.
the key at Staples Center.
I said this on ETB Sports, a teaser to Wednesday, that I missed the Dwight Howard moment. I missed the Blake Griffin jumping over the Kia and
the Vince Carter, it's over. It's over.
I missed the hanging dunk with his hand halfway down. He could have broken his arm if he hung on for much longer inside the rim.
But I will emphasize something that I said last night on last night's edition of Lounge. It's not just an all-star game issue. It's a systemic issue with the NBA and the ideas of load management.
Yes, I agree with that. I said something on the episode which you might disagree with me on slightly, but I would blame the dunk competition on LeBron James, the way it's kind of turned, because LeBron should have participated in the dunk contest.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. Because if he participates in the dunk contest, then every other star thinks it's cool to participate in the dunk contest, regardless if it's just a accolade or a money situation. And by the way, that's why the NBA had to get involved to put money behind it, because no one was willing to participate. None of the stars. And the excuse that they would give every single time is that I don't want to get hurt. Well, what about everybody else that participates?
There's always going to be a risk.
Look at Mac McClung, who won 2 NBA dunk competitions.
And no, he is not related to me. Thank you for asking, you idiots. I appreciate that.
Well, it's not even spelled the same way.
But it's just kind of sad that a guy from the G League can come up, win the slam dunk competition in back-to-back years.
So,
like, he had the guts to compete, and then he beat actual NBA players.
Well, there was a report about whether he was going to be in this year, and supposedly he said, "I'm out of dunks," is what he told them. Which I don't know if I believe that. You're out of dunks. Really? The guy is one of the more creative dunkers I've ever seen in NBA history. Dare I say that?
But some people have used that as criticism of the dunk contest, saying that the dunks aren't spectacular anymore.
Okay, but is it always about the new and creative way of a dunk?
That I agree with you on that.
I love seeing reverse dunks. I love seeing the simple dunks done like really efficiently.
Michael Jordan fly like an eagle from the free throw line and hammer it down. Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight reel, for example. Right. Dr. J for all those years.
To be honest, the guys today have way more strength and can fly through the air more. There should be people attempting that free throw dunk and seeing if they can make it, especially the taller guys. I could see Wemby making that dunk with the bigger wingspan. I could see him making that. I mean, here's the problem. So I didn't even know the dunk competition was on TV. I didn't even know when it came on.
Time.
Because of forget the game. Because I knew it was at 5. I still forgot. But they didn't do a skills competition, which, by the way, the skills competition is probably the worst thing of the entire weekend.
And if memory serves me correct, did they not pull the rug out from that at the 11th hour about the skills contest because they were blaming the Spurs for bending the rules to that last season or something like that?
Okay, so that stupid thing they're talking about last year of bending the rules, it had to do with getting through the course faster.
And Wemby and Stephon Castle were intentionally just throwing up shots that weren't even close to the rim to save time.
I mean, it is a little ridiculous if you're purposely not making shots. If you're in a competition, you got to try. You can't just say, oh, because I think it's after 3 shots, you're allowed to just run through. But that should be a penalty because it takes you 3 shots. You can't just say, I'm going to throw 3 balls purposely as fast as I can to get through the course. Now, what you said about the dunk competition, if you miss completely, really bad, you should be penalized for that. I don't know if they do.
They kind of do.
But I don't know. Some of the dunks from back in the day, who was the one that did was it Gerald Green was the one who did the cupcake on the top and blew the candle out?
I believe so.
That one was kind of cool. The Dwight Howard doing the Superman from the free throw line, actually putting the cape on. That was kind of cool.
Oh, Amari Stoudemire having Steve Nash do soccer-style passes to him for the dunk.
And by the way, you're not going to see much of that anymore because these owners are so afraid of their players getting hurt that they're not going to let them overattempt. I guarantee you're never going to see someone jump over a car ever again in a dunk contest. Blake Griffin was such a rarity when it came to physical ability that he was able to jump and get up there.
Or people or guys who'd want to jump over Giannis or jump over Wemby for a dunk, for example, or dunk over some content influencer who's out there at the game.
Well, they had a rapper or someone was out there being the jump over guy. I don't remember who it was, but
I mean, he was one of what 200 plus content creators in LA for the game.
By the way, that was the dumbest thing of all time. Oh, well, we're the NBA. We're going to bring out 200 content creators. I know why they did it. Because they want someone like Mr. Beast. It wasn't Mr. Beast, but they want someone like Mr. Beast out there who's going to throw it out to their millions upon millions of followers.
Hey, the NBA's cool, kids.
Is it? Is it cool? I don't know anymore.
Well, that's
not when you've got the owner of your host city still being stuck up in circumvention lawsuits and the gambling scandal back in October.
By the way,
and you're finding teams who don't have a shot in hell to make the playoffs half a billion for not playing their players.
We were told that we were supposed to have an answer to this situation by the time the All-Star break was over. We still don't have one.
And Front Office Sports has confirmed it won't be anytime soon.
So they lied.
Of course they did. It's the NBA.
It's the NBA. Nothing but assholes, as I used to say.
Or the National Betting Ball Association, as I wrote into the show last night.
Hold on a minute. Since you're going to bring up lying, I have to bring out this old bit.
Why the fuck you lying? Yes! Why you always lying? Oh, my God. Stop fucking lying.
Oh my God. But I just want to point out, so Legion Hoops, which does a really good job on social media, by the way, about 4 hours ago, they're claiming that the 2026 NBA All-Star Game averaged 8.8 million views. By the way, it's not All-Star Game. There was 4 games, 4 separate games.
Yeah, they still call it the All-Star Game itself.
No, I agree with you.
Which is dumb.
But I'm saying they keep saying the 2026 NBA All-Star Game. It's not one singular game.
Yeah, it's like the Pro Bowl now is what? Aren't they like the Pro Bowl games now?
Games.
Not the Pro Bowl as it used to be for all those years?
Yeah, but they technically play one game, don't they? Or no?
But I think they're referring to they're now including all the skill stuff as part of that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, all the backyard barbecue games that they play there and wherever it's at.
But so they averaged 8.8 million viewers. It's the largest TV audience since 2011.
And the 2011 All-Star Game, I think, was also in LA at Staples Center, I think, if memory serves me correct.
I think you're right. But if that's the case, then maybe they're onto something. But I don't want it taking 4 games to get to the eventual winner.
Yeah.
And by the way, 3 USA teams and 1 world team. You're telling me you couldn't get another 2 world teams?
So that brings me, though, boys, to the next question, because I heard this from legendary SoCal Sports Talk radio host Lee Hacksaw Hamilton today during his podcast on Monday afternoons out here in San Diego. Tom and Nick, would you be in favor? Now, Tom, I think you and I will share the same sentiments, though, because we saw this happen, sadly, with Olympic men's ice hockey when it comes to the word of injury. But the proposal was the NBA follows the NHL's footsteps and stops the season for the Winter Olympic Games and moves basketball from the Summer Olympics to the Winter Olympics to try to fill what the All-Star Game has been lacking for the last several years. And, Tom, I mentioned you off the top because we just sadly saw Kevin Fiala of the LA Kings go out with a fractured leg playing for Switzerland over in the men's tournament in Milan Cortina.
I saw that.
Which I know obviously has been a big talking point amongst, fans in general about letting the pros go and play. But I long have said, having been around the game, as I mentioned at the top of the show, in the 25 years I've been around the sport, a lot of players value the flag of their country more than the Stanley Cup, which I totally understand about the national pride of playing for the home country rather than playing for a American adopted team that you're playing for your career. But Tom, could the NBA maybe benefit like the NHL has about forget the All-Star Game? Basketball goes to the Winter Olympics to stay in line with the NHL, and you take the 17-day pause and do it that way.
So I get the sentiment of what you're talking about because, when we're talking about these international players who are coming, like the NHL is obviously going to have a lot more prominence than a league that's exclusively somewhere within Europe or somewhere within Russia. Obviously, the NHL is going to have the bigger name value. But the Olympics do present the opportunity, as did a little bit on a minor level of the 4 nations about country pride. And that will sometimes, and that to some people feels more of world champion status than just say, being the champion of whatever league you're a part of.
Stanley Cup champion, NBA champions, the whole Noah Lyles argument, world champions, we're the NHL or NBA world champions,
But that being said, but there has to be an understanding of risk. There has to be an understanding of risk because, people can say, oh, Kevin, F the Olympics because of Kevin's injury. You don't know. He could have gotten hurt. If the NHL schedule continued to be what it is, and
he could have gotten hurt in a random game versus the Rangers. I don't know.
Injuries happen. Injuries are a part of sports. In fact, what did I say during this whole NFL season? We were showing a number of players get hurt, and I said it's going to be one of, if not the healthiest team that ends up winning the
Super Bowl
championship, ends up winning the Super Bowl. And you know what? The Seahawks, you had an injury with Charbonnet, during the playoffs, but the Seahawks
and Smith and Jigba with the concussion in the Super Bowl.
Well, and still played.
Played too.
But that's the thing. Like the Seahawks, I don't remember too many, if any, big injuries that team suffered.
None, really, to be honest. I mean,
and
Sam
Nick?
Darnold, if you want to put him on the list.
Okay, fair. But Nick,
Yeah.
Also, look at the insignia of the team insignia of the shirt that you're wearing.
I know.
How many
The
times?
New York Yankees.
How many times have we talked about this? The Yankees players just piling up with injuries, and then sometimes using the injuries as to why they weren't able to go all the way. And then the question comes, well, you know what? This team who made it, this team who won the whole thing, they did go all the way despite having injury. Injuries are a part of sports. So if the NBA and all of its fans and all of its owners, et cetera, are willing to take the gamble, go ahead. But understand the gamble is there.
Well, the one thing I want to add to this is if we're going to talk about international competition in that way, because people blew me up when I had the opinion about the World Baseball Classic, where I said that Edwin Diaz is a complete asshole for what he did at the World Baseball Classic, and the Mets lost him for an entire season for a lot of money.
Correct.
Now, I'm not saying that the World Baseball Classic is a complete dud, but if I'm an owner of a team and I give Edwin Diaz $100 million, what do you think my answer is going to be about whether you go to the World Baseball Classic? The answer is going to be no.
To counter that,
especially with the insurance issues that we've heard about too, involving certain players in countries.
But to counter that point, number one, Francisco Lindor does have, somebody like a Lindor does have an injury history, sure. World Baseball Classic aside. That's where the insurance issue is going to come up. Number two, you can say what you want about these owners and that they're paying the $100 million. Some of these owners are not doing what it takes to get their team to actually be competitive. I agree. So for some of those players who are stuck in those teams and those situations, the World Baseball Classic is their best chance of actually having some success and earning a championship in sports. Hi, Mike Trout. And
that's funny you say that, because Mike Trout is apparently going back to center field this season after he couldn't stay healthy for his entire career.
And number three, you could also blame that great commissioner of ours, and I say great with all the sincere sarcasm in the world, for calling the commissioner's trophy a scrap of metal.
I mean, if we keeping a buck right now, we ass.
What?
So your own commissioner is willing to elevate the World Baseball Classic above the World Series trophy. And by the way, actually, there's a little bonus thing. Did you guys see the news about the 2028 Summer Games in LA?
Baseball will be there at Dodger Stadium.
Correct. Yes. And you know what they're using to determine the 6 nations that are going to be part of it?
The World Baseball Classic.
The World Baseball Classic. They are going to have the WBC do their job for them.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's just like
and here's the best part. So MLB players are going to be a part of the WBC. It is part of the qualifying process, but then they can't play in the actual Olympics.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, Major League Baseball's got a lot of problems, whether it's figuring out the Olympics, whether it's figuring out collective bargaining.
Make sense to me. Exactly. Make it make sense to me.
I wish. But between collective bargaining, whether they're going to have a salary floor, whether we're going to have baseball after this season.
Exactly.
Rob Manfred's got a whole host of issues, but to finish on the NBA All-Star game, I'd give it like a C- or a D. That's where I have it. And Adam Silver did a lot of foot and mouth syndrome, as Tom remembers me saying from many years ago, where
who are you people?
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying to Adam Silver, but where he basically was saying, oh, well, we got to batten down on tanking, which, by the way, there is no 100% proof method to figure out tanking. And also he said, oh, AI is going to take part in our broadcasts in the near future. That's a scary thought.
Surprise.
You people?
But I don't know. There's a lot of issues with the NBA. The whole thing with Giannis owning up to 1% of Kalshi, knowing that we have an NBA gambling scandal under our hands.
And by the way, speaking of the thing that you said before, if for something, because owners have been supposedly in these reports are willing to even lose 2028, not just 2027.
That's stupid.
Now, well, here's going to be my point. I know that
that's what it's going to feel like.
I know they're going to be locked out, and it's going to complicate things. But if you are having the MLB players and the World Baseball Classic determine your teams for the Olympics, if summer 2028 comes and there's still no MLB baseball being played, guess what? I think then the players that have the right to go to the Olympics at that point.
They would be locked out.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on that front. Or are you going to see like what
went to the point before we move on here? That went to the point that we talked about after the meeting concluded today about Breanna Stewart signing over in Turkey. That's in case that the league doesn't have a damn season.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense either, because the whole point of being an owner of Unrivaled and playing in Unrivaled or playing in Players Unlimited or all these other leagues was to avoid going overseas, which is the issue they were trying to avoid.
Well, Callan, do you know what this reminds me of? When the NHL lost its full 2004-2005 season, you saw all the players go international for that.
Or they went to the American Hockey League.
That too.
Which is where he works. But it doesn't make sense like that Stewie is going to go overseas when the whole point of these leagues was to avoid going overseas. Now, I don't know if baseball's locked out, are players just going to sit on the sidelines because technically their money is, well, actually, they would actually lose their money for the year because it wouldn't be a play year. But
Nick, on that point, leagues like the KBO and leagues in Japan and Mexico are going to be licking their lips for these players.
I don't know if the players are going to be as willing to travel overseas.
Oh, I didn't say that they would or not. I'm just saying those leagues are going to be licking their lips.
And I'm sure a lot of the Latin-born players will go back to their leagues in the Dominican Republic, maybe if that happens, or
XLB. XLB.
Well, you know what? You're talking about we're talking about Callan's league and everything. You know what? Why don't I don't know. I'll purchase MLB 26 and I'll make a league in there.
Yes.
I got Super Mega Baseball too.
We'll bring those games here. That'd be great.
I'd do it.
I'm
talking seriously. I would do it.
And you have a broadcast team already with me and Nick, so you're good.
Yeah,
I would do it.
I'm in. We're going to have a lockout for at least a year. So
we'll get started on that when the show's over. All right, guys, let's move away from go ahead, Nick. Wrap it up.
The last thing I was just going to say is we're going to have to fit the Hitting for the Cycle guys actually came to me. They're like, what the hell are we supposed to do for a year? I said, you could do what Tom and I did during COVID of 2020. Just find stupid things to talk about for no reason.
Well, but then in that case, we'd have two broadcast teams. You'd have Ryan and Ben, and we'd have you two. And I could put somebody for me, and there's a third team.
Well, and also we could just have two guys playing against one another and do it like a broadcast.
Exactly.
You could do it that way too.
We could have Callan.
That would help fulfill the watch hour quota.
Well, everyone loves video games. Like everybody.
Great. All right, guys.
We're going to play backyard sports too.
Yes. Oh, backyard baseball.
I will play every freaking backyard sports game that I own.
Backyard hockey, Tom. Let's go. I got dibs on Korea.
Nick knows how much of a backyard sports fan I was.
I was too, and they just brought it back under a new license.
I cannot wait for I can't wait for the game this summer. I can't wait.
Yeah, Tom and I will play the Mighty Ducks versus the Rangers. He'll have Brian Leach. I'll have Paul Correa. That was always my guy.
By the way, the numbers are up finally in this episode after all the issues we've had. We're approaching 80 people. Thank God. After all just in case people were wondering, there is a live streaming Twitter X issue going on. API issue, the integration between Twitter and StreamYard. So if you're not seeing it on your feed and we had to manually force it to put the feeds up there, that's now
we had a 5-minute cold open to the show today with the whole welcome and the built-in music tonight.
And that might be permanent for the near future until they get their act together.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who finally found the show. So, okay, now we can move on.
All right, fellas, we're going to go a bit off the beaten path to our Flat Beer Award, to the ending at the Great American Race in Daytona, Florida. Tyler Reddick wins it, but losing 20 cars to a massive pileup, though, in Stage 2 felt like watching a $100 million demolition derby. Mr. Morgasen, does NASCAR still have a racing problem, or is the Daytona 500 simply a lottery with better branding? Where I should mention, guys, by the way, that, of course, the race this year marked 25 years since the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. at Daytona this past Sunday. But Nick, your thoughts on the race and maybe about just how NASCAR has really had a problem with demolition derby driving over the past several seasons.
We've seen fights over the last couple of years where guys just get out and start beating the shit out of each other, like when they cause crashes.
It's funny whenever they fight, though. It is funny.
Exactly. That's the problem. That used to be hockey for me. where like I would tune in and all of a sudden I'd see a fight and I'm like, all right, I'm staying for the rest of this NHL game because there was a fight that broke out in this game.
Why is there a hockey matchup in this fight?
Yeah, exactly. I went to a hockey game I went to a match and a hockey game broke out. Whatever, however
Exactly.
I went to a boxing match and a hockey game broke out.
Right. But did you see the irony of who won though? Well, you mentioned
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, so Michael Jordan's race team, the one that Callan and I talked about on Press Row with his he was suing NASCAR, I think,
for the charter system about basically getting your team into races for NASCAR events.
And apparently, like, they settled out of court, but they said he was going to win if it kept going. And his racer won. He won, so he got to hold the trophy up at the end of the Daytona 500. And I was like, all right, I can get behind this. By the way, everything Michael Jordan touches, it wins, except for gambling.
Funk that, though, right? Especially, we know him for his basketball career. But now, NASCAR of all things, though, when he does that first race of a season.
I want to look this up to see what else Michael Jordan has ownership in, because it kind of makes me think of Magic Johnson with all the ownership.
Magic, former athletes investing their money the right way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He sold off his majority share of the Hornets. He still owns a minority share. He still has the Jordan brand technically with Nike. Is there anything else? Oh, apparently he had
has he get all donated to UNC at all, Nick?
I'm looking that up, but apparently he had Michael Jordan Motorsports from 2003 to 2013, which I didn't.
I remember that.
Yeah. But no, I don't see anything for UNC. I'm sure he's donated a shitload to UNC.
Probably
I'm sure.
name on it.
And I'm sure that's through the Nike partnerships probably helped him. But
Gotta be.
I don't know. It's a good story. The guy who led, he led for one lap. Do you want to know what that one lap was? The final lap.
Another wreck.
So he wins, and it's a good moment for the guy. Like,
I was going to say, it's a good moment for him. I will say, the pile-ups, the car wrecks, it's just part of the risk that comes with back sport.
Much like Kevin Fiala playing for the Swiss national team and getting hurt in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. And it just is a natural thing that seems to happen at every NASCAR event. But something like a 20-car pileup is crazy. But yeah, maybe a little bit of a dark kind of irony, considering it happens on the 25th anniversary of the loss of Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah, and I remember watching that race too on Fox when it happened, and I think the news cycle kept going on hours on end after the race even had concluded that day.
There actually are the initial ESPN reports available on YouTube, like the Sports Center that night, and you actually see, I think it's SVP doing the, live shot from Daytona.
Yeah, from Daytona.
Yeah, I don't know, though, guys. There's a right way for NASCAR to police all of the content. Because like Tom said, it's not really a racing problem. It's literally the fact that every race is a lottery that just has better branding on it. Like, what? Are you going to tell the guys not to drive fast or stay in their lanes?
Well,
or
right. It's literally a sport where you just drive as fast as you can and continuously turn left until the checkered flag comes out.
Don't they say NASCAR is one of the more dangerous sports also to compete in?
Because think about the high speeds that you're traveling at.
What are you going, like 130 miles an hour? At some
and then look
point?
at like IndyCar, you're going like 150, 180 around that track.
First of all, if you miss the angle of your turn by like a centimeter, you could be in the wall.
Yeah.
Depending. Like, I don't know. I've never gotten into NASCAR. I'm not saying there's a market. There's a huge market for NASCAR. I just don't have interest in it. I think I would get like sick, like watch it if I was sitting in the stands, like watching them go around 1,000 times.
I went to the Auto Club 500 one year in Fontana before the track shut down, and now they're moving the SoCal race to San Diego, actually Father's Day weekend on the Naval
Air Base.
Yeah, the Naval Base at Coronado Island. It's cool for like the first like 10 to 15 laps, but then gradually, as it gets like into the middle, like you're dragging, you want more beer, you want food. There's just not a lot going on and things like that. And then it gets really exciting on the last couple of laps, though. obviously. But I mean, I agree. I mean, I'll put it on if it's on though. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna be sitting here for a while because it's gonna be long
background noise a lot.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, it kind of is though. But also, I think with a lot of the golden drivers like Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson retiring, for example.
By the way, did you see they're bringing back Speed?
I did see that. That's interesting.
The channel?
Well, they're bringing it's going to be a podcast that's going to simulcast on FS1.
But it has the Speed TV station branding attached to it.
I was like, holy shit. I'm like, this is what FS1 was before it became FS1. It was the Speed channel, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember summer of 2013 tuning in and seeing the Speed channel sign off to transition into the start of FS1.
Even though FS1, in my opinion, has been an utter failure. But
at first you had all the promise because they had the guys
Crowd
who were
goes
doing
wild.
the Canadian Sports Center leading
Jay O'Toole and Jay and Dan from TSN doing Fox Sports Live.
Sports Center, because of the Canadian version.
Right.
Fox Sports Live. And then they had Crowd
I remember
Goes
the UFC had a fight night on the very first night of FS1 too.
They did.
There was actually a matchup featuring two future stars during the main card. But they were starting to get traction, still little known at the time. A person by the name of Conor McGregor defeating a person by the name of Max Holloway.
Oh my God, the BMF title. Well, before it was the BMF title. But then you had Crowd Goes Wild and this, you want to talk about demos. You had Regis Philbin and Katie Nolan on the same show. So figure that one out.
Regis Philbin, hardest working man in show business. Don't at me.
No, he was.
Love him.
I mean, how many? Well, he did Live with Regis and Kelly. Then he did Billionaire
in LA for a long time.
I think he was retired though when they kind of.
And then they brought him back.
That they must have paid him a shitload to come
They
out.
had America's pregame with Mike Hill for like 3 days, and they got rid of it.
He's a good guy. Like I don't know what happened to him, but they had him, and then what else did they have? MLB Whip Around.
Mike Hill still does all the college basketball pregame and halftime, and usually and for football too.
Right, and then there was MLB Whip Around with Dontrell Willis and Mark Sweeney, and I think Karros was on that too.
Karros, yep.
It had promise, and then it died. And then,
and by the way, Nick, you want to know who won the main event of that first FS1 card?
Who was it?
Uncle Chael.
Oh my God, Chael Sonnen.
Yep.
Zan was supposed to interview him, by the way.
I've heard about those.
The failed promotion of RAF. But
I wouldn't call it failed yet. I'm just not into. I mean, I can watch it. I don't know the pure wrestling.
You want to talk about bad PR people? Like they promise you all these interviews, and then they're just like, oh, we don't have them.
Yeah, it rubbed me the wrong way when I heard about it.
But you know what? I like Chael though. That would if I could have had one out of that entire list, it would have been Chael. Like because Chael will say anything and answer anything, and he'll throw it back in your face and not care.
Yeah,
he might have done steroids too. Just saying. Man, that goes back to the whole Levitard interview. If you remember, what was the name of the show again? Oh, Highly Questionable.
Yes.
By the way, speaking of sports shows that I miss from the television airwaves, Highly Questionable. See or no?
Oh, no.
Do you question?
Yes.
Do you question everything that happens here? Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Oh, man. I don't know anymore.
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
Hold on. Where is it? Don't tell me it's gone off of the YouTube. Nick, it used to be our favorite sound effect.
Oh.
You don't get the show.
I think I took that, down by accident.
Oh, man. That's too funny.
By the way, did you see the Padres made another move?
Did it just now break?
It was about 35 minutes ago. Walker Buehler to a minor league deal.
Interesting.
What? Nick, I found it.
You don't get the show.
Yes. Got to add that to the soundboard now.
We need that back.
Oh, man.
Fun times.
Fun times. All right, guys, let's go now to our Empty the Beverage segment here. We're going to talk about the Norwegian national team, who is still leading the medal count right now after 10 days of competition. 27 total medals, 12 of them being gold, with Team USA currently sitting right now at 4th with 5. Nick, does Norway dominating the Olympic Games right now make the Olympics boring, or should Team USA just stop complaining and just learn how to compete better and be faster?
Is it bad when actual competition is not the funniest thing you've seen the entire Olympic week? I'm just going to say that now. I think that winning a gold medal and then admitting you cheated on your girlfriend afterward is funnier. I'm just going to say that now. And sorry, Team USA. It hasn't been as great of a Winter Olympics for you this time around. But
well, I mean, traditionally, the U.S.
or
doesn't
Summer
dominate.
Olympics. Yeah.
They don't dominate the Winter Olympics as much as they do the summer.
Yeah. Oh, all the other countries do better at us than the Winter Olympics. Summer, we bring on all the professional athletes to come in and take away. But yeah, no, that the U.S. is not the story. It's the guy, the skier, winning gold and cheating on his girlfriend and admitting it.
I actually think he won bronze. He won a medal.
Oh, was it bronze?
I know that for a fact. I mean, but Tom, I would say though that there are certain events there are certain events that countries simply dominate. Speed skating, it's the Netherlands. Anything involving skiing, it's going to be the Norwegians usually. If it's hockey, it's
but you know what? Then there was a person from the Netherlands who had a record in speed skating. Actually ended up getting a world record. The problem, he was competing against an American who beat him. Then he got the world record.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, but there is still certain events though in certain countries that live and die with the Winter Games. As Nick, I think, said it right, though. We're not really much of a winter sports country. I mean, we still obviously have 80 to hang our hat on. Hopefully, we can rewrite that chapter in a couple of weeks.
Well,
or in about a week or
the
two.
U.S. and Canadian women going for the gold medal on.
Didn't they
Thursday.
score another 5 goals again?
Another 5-0 shutout again. So they got 5 straight shutouts. Canada won today as well. I mean, no, I think it's good, though, and I'll actually have something about this, though, in about a week's time, roughly, on Small Market Edition about, Nick actually heard the episode. It's called Small Market Syndrome.
Yes.
When all the national media and, even people internally on this network say, oh, we don't need small markets to be playing for the championship. I mean, no, we actually do. So that's coming out in a couple of weeks.
Consider this. And I should have brought this up before when we were talking about the NBA, but since we're talking about the idea of small market count, consider this. Adam Silver, the tanking problem has been such a problem with the NBA.
They fined the Pacers and the Jazz $600,000 combined.
I mean,
he is openly considering removing the draft and just letting these players who come from college to the NBA be free agents. That is going to murder the small market teams. Even if the NBA has the salary cap, even if they have all these things that MLB does, that is going to murder the small markets.
And Tom, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, this is a bit of an apples to oranges situation. The National Women's Soccer League abolished their draft to freely let college players who want to go pro freely sign with any of the 14, 16 teams now involved with the 2 new teams in Denver and in Boston. San Diego signed a couple of players. Some players, went to, but again, very hard salary cap, as Nick knows, even with that new rule about the Rodman incident,
right,
the Rodman
point
rule.
is, if you're a small market
but still,
team,
I think, yes, that right there would be like, someone dropping the A-bomb on the NBA if that happens, because I want to go play for the Jazz. I'm going to go
right. But consider this, that's going to make a rebuild much harder for a small market team.
1,000%.
Well, there's a couple debates I could make to this. One, if you abolish the draft, maybe that forces your moves and your financial constraint to be more responsible rather than just wildly spending money in free agency.
Or go ahead, but I have another idea, but keep going.
But at the same time, like I said before, there's no way to abolish tanking in a 100% perfect way. Okay? You could do a million rules. These teams are going to find a way to find a loophole. But
because some owners value the idea of making a profit than they do winning championships.
Well, go ask the Sacramento A's and John Fisher how that's working out.
But in the Oakmento A's of Las Vegas, Nevada,
it doesn't make any sense. But Here's the problem I have with the fine to the Utah Jazz, the $500,000 fine. Last time I checked, they won the game. They sat 4 starters and they beat the Miami Heat. Okay? The fine doesn't happen until after the game. You're going to tell me that you're still going to fine the Utah Jazz, who won the game with their 4 starters being sat down.
And here's my other gripe. The triple P, the player participation policy,
I hate it.
It really only affects when you go on the road. They won the game at Delta Center in Salt Lake City, where the fans can see that team play every night of the week that ends in letter Y and twice on Sunday.
And that's the problem I have.
I could understand if it was a fine for them playing on the road, but not at home.
I said this on ETB Sports as well. I'm going to say it here. Does anyone remember how the PPP came into play? Tom, do you remember?
Because of Pop and the Spurs.
Yeah.
It was a TNT. It was a national game on TNT where Greg Popovich said, you know what? I'm going to sit Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker because we came off a long road trip, which, in my opinion, boo-hoo. Who cares if you're on a long road trip or not? You get paid millions of dollars. You should be in shape to play every single game.
And it wound up working because they won the championship that year, I think, too.
Right, but you have a full off-season rest. I don't want to see stars resting during the season. That's ridiculous. You're hurting fans who are paying lots of money to show up and see these guys play. Do you remember the Steph Curry situation in Toronto?
What you talk about on the load management episode coming out in like 5 months, it feels like, because we're so far ahead of the curve right now. But yes.
But my point is that that family paid a lot of money to go to those games. And from what I understood in that situation, that was like life savings money that they had spent. And Steph Curry didn't play. And all of a sudden, when Steph Curry found out that a family was there to see him, he was horrified. Horrified.
And he made it up to him.
And I think he brought them to Golden State.
Yes.
And sat them down behind the bench. No pun intended. But my point is, these players just don't care. They don't care if their team is sitting them and they're hurting fans that are paying for the seats and for the merch or for the food. Like, they don't care. They're just going to sit their guys, and load management's going to be a problem forever. And by the way, you want to, like I said before, you thank LeBron for screwing up the dunk competition. You could thank Kawhi Leonard for load management. Because Kawhi was already hurt, like injury-prone risk, before load management was a thing. And then he was sitting out every other game anyway. Actually, you could say 2 guys are technically the poster child of load management. No, Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid, after the last time he came back from the injury, he said, don't expect me to play back-to-backs anymore. He said, I'm only going to play every other day. So you could blame Kawhi. You could blame Joel Embiid. You could blame James Harden if you want, because sometimes he didn't play every day. I know what you're going to play.
Where is it?
So load management is a huge problem. Thank you, James Harden. But you're never going to fix load management, ever. You could keep putting in new rules, and the teams are going to find loopholes to beat them.
Yeah, and what I was going to mention, because obviously, we're kind of talking about the NBA draft and about, creating parity. Obviously the Norwegians right now are leading the medal count over in Milan Cortina right now, even though Team USA had a great day on Monday, including a very well-deserved first gold medal for Alana Myers-Taylor in the monobob for bobsledding today, plus Callie Holmes taking home the bronze, too, for a 1-3 U.S. combo. But I think, though, to go to Nick's point, though, before we get to the top of the hour, is I would think, though, that this might be something. If in fact, let's hypothetically say the NBA wipes out the draft for some ungodly reason, well, then you have to make this concession. You go in order by the worst standings, that team gets the top priority to pick to sign the first, the first
NFL
player.
style.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would do.
I liked the lottery format, and then they added all these conditions in, and now the worst 3 teams all have the same percentage, and
that's stupid. I mean, like, everyone should have a percentage. So the number one pick should have the most lottery balls, and as you go down, you have less percentage to get the first pick. I mean,
that's what the NHL does.
That's how the Knicks got fucked over for a first overall pick.
But to be honest, that still ended up benefiting the Knicks in the long run.
You're 100% right, but no one knew at the time that Zion was going to flame out and be fat. Eating because he decided to eat all the time. He thinks he was a James Harden mini-me, basically.
But that wasn't the sound effect I was going to go to, because you were mentioning the day that the Knicks lost Zion. I was going to say this.
I am having a very bad day. Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
Of course, that also reminds me of the funny, well, I shouldn't say funny, but the most memeable history of Zion Williams and the girlfriend. Also, if you remember, for our show,
that or the fact that the fact that right before the draft he's playing that game against North Carolina, breaking a new pair of Nikes, and the shoe blows up on him and he's out for the year.
Well, that wasn't his fault though. That was Nike's fault.
Nick, how many weeks in a row did we have a story about Zion and the girl?
At least 2 months. At least.
Yeah.
That's how big that story was. I mean, we had a clip go viral for like tens of thousands of views off that.
Of course we did. Gotta love it, right?
That was way before you were here.
Obviously. All right, gentlemen, as you get to the top of the hour, 1 hour already down, 1 hour to go. Reminder, gang, follow us on social media. We're at the ETB Lounge and at ETB Network. And, of course, find us on YouTube as well at youtube.com/ETB Network. Nick, are there any other programming notes that we should be made aware of for the week?
I mean, it's weird. Now that we're out of the football season, everything slows down slightly.
Finally.
But we'll have some. Well, I mean, we have Press Row coming up Wednesday. We have ETB Sports coming up Wednesday. If you haven't seen enough of me for the week, you're going to see more than enough of me on Wednesday. Okay? It's a little. I'm sick of seeing myself on the screen.
Well, you're going to have Callan joining Nick DiMartino on MTGP on Thursday this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So there's going to be, well, there's like 3 doses of Callan, technically. You can think about it that way. But, yeah, so that's Wednesday. Thursday's MTGP. Do we actually have anything? Oh, well, obviously, Bando's Breakdowns Friday.
Hitting for the cycle,
which is now back on a consistent turn again in the right direction.
Is that Thursdays or Fridays?
Thursdays. It just happened to be Friday this past week. Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern through the season. And now we have 3 hosts doing it, which I'm kind of glad David's part of that show. He seems to know baseball like insanely well.
It's like the back of his hand.
So that was a great ad. And then Saturday is busy again. Hardwood game day. I got to talk about all that for a second too.
Please do.
So we have all the changes coming for the. I can't believe I'm already talking about next NFL season already, but I'm sure Callan loves that right now. A lot of changes coming for the forecast season. So, are you finished?
Yes.
Okay. So forecast is going to be live all of next season,
but
it's going to have 6 people, not 8. So we are going to knock the number down slightly because from feedback, Johnny said he had a lot of people watch the show, and he said it was too many cooks in the kitchen. Some people were saying.
Even when he tried to point out the difference, it was just, no, we got shut down.
Yeah, it got shut down. So the core 6, which has been doing the show for quite a long time, is going to do it. And then you're actually playing like a duality role throughout most of the football content.
Yes.
When the NFL season comes back. So if I can reach into the toolbox over here for a second.
Don't blame them tools, sir.
No, I'm not Isaiah Leung. I don't blame the tools.
Workman does not blame his tools, my friend.
No. Here we go. So I got that our newest addition to the network, and it's going to be part of our forecast section. Football night on the bench. Yes, it looks like Sunday Night Football. I know. Get all the ha-has out now. Yes.
It's a giraffe.
This, that just shows you we are immature children that we make SpongeBob jokes on a daily basis.
Who are you people?
Yeah. Excuse me. So football night on the bench will be Thursday and Sunday. It's going to be hour-long pre-shows that will be live before the game. Then you can all go watch the game. I could give two shits what you do after the hour pre-show. But this is an hour pre-show. We're going to break it down like NBC does or Amazon Prime does. And Tom's going to host the Thursday. Trevor's going to host the Sunday. And we're going to have some rotating panel. And some of those days might flip depending on, like, if we have Kristie for the Cowboys, depending which day that is, when the Bears are on, since we have a Bears influx at this network.
The Bears have won!
So that'll determine some of the scheduling. But yes, Thursday and Sunday football night on the bench will be a new thing. Am I missing anything else that we're adding to the football side, or was that it?
No, but the logo is pretty badass.
Yeah. You know what? Gemini for the win again.
Yes.
Who needs a graphic designer anymore? Yeah. God, you remember when we started? Tom remembers this when we started with a graphic designer. And it was just like, I got to wait. Now I can literally push 5 buttons and make a graphic appear.
Since the word ass.
I mean, we keeping a buck right now. We ass.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm like Aaron Rodgers. I magically make things disappear.
RELAX.
It's because I'm immunized.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's everything coming up. Obviously, we're transitioning seasons. So March Madness coverage will start very soon. Woo! All right, Ric Flair. But boy, I'm on a roll tonight. But,
did you get rid of that one? Oh, never mind. I found it.
Yeah. So yeah, March Madness coverage will start. That'll be for Hardwood Game Day and for Noteworthy in the NCAA. So looking forward to those kind of picking up. And then obviously to April, we're going to have NFL draft coverage. And you'll be happy to know I confirmed the last person for an hour pre-show leading into our NFL draft coverage. So we're going to have an hour pre-show, hopefully, with Will and Zan and Trevor to do day one, because no one gives a shit after day one.
And then it'll transition into the actual day one broadcast.
Well, that's why I made that BRB with the music thing so that we can use it to transition into the next
thing
iteration. By the way, I'm looking forward to the intro because of the ones you've done over the years. How do you do that? Like that panoramic thing. That's one thing I can't figure out how to do.
After Effects.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think I may have just found stock footage of the city because I think it was Detroit the last time I did it.
Because it looks like drone footage, the way it angles around.
Yeah, I think I found stock drone footage of something.
That was kind of sick. It looked real, the way it was made. Like,
where is the draft this year?
Pittsburgh, I think.
I think most of the time now it's going to be Pittsburgh, right? Let's see.
Pittsburgh.
It is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm just now picturing Cosmo changing to that horrible site, and then he tells Jorgen, "I call it Pittsburgh."
Oh God, what is going on with this show?
Well, we're going to get back to the actual sports talk now, gentlemen, and go over to Major League Baseball. Very much a day long awaited in Southern California. A.J. Preller officially inks a new multi-year extension with the San Diego Padres, despite the ongoing potential sale of the franchise that it right now is still reaching a bit of a head, though. We should hear more about that, though, in the coming couple of weeks. Gentlemen, Preller has been the Padres GM and president of baseball operations since 2014. Has been known, though, as well for his very much aggressive freestyle, wheeling and dealing style of trades involving the farm system for star talent, though it really hasn't panned out, though. But this, though, has been tabbed the best generation, let alone the best era, I should say, in Padre baseball. How about 470 wins against the 400 loss record? So 70 games over 500 since he took over as the team GM, and the Padres have gone to the playoffs 4 times in the last 6 seasons after having only 5 playoff berths. dating back to all the way between 84 and 2006. So Nick Morgasen is, with that in mind, Nick, is giving A.J. Preller an extension bench money well spent, or are the Pods just addicted to the chaos of his trade deadline benders every July 31st?
Okay, so the question I have is the ownership right now has no idea if they're going to sell or not, right? So
they are selling, and the price tag is going to be at least $3 billion to break what the Mets sold for Steve Cohen.
But wait a minute. So they're going to sign the GM, but what happens if the ownership goes?
Couldn't tell you.
Because
and that's the thing, because the guy's been a very, I mean, granted, the previous owner before he passed away as well also shared in that aggressive, going
Free
for
spending,
it,
go for it, win it all cost mentality. Yes.
So then I think what Nick is trying to imply, which is I 100% agree on, is that
will a new owner actually keep him in place? I don't see why you don't, for the simple fact that you've had your two biggest stars in Machado and Tatis Jr. before today even tell the media what AJ Preller has done. Yes, has he swung and missed? Have he not gone to have he not gone to the World Series? Sure. But there's no one in this room more than us who wants to bring the championship home to San Diego.
Yeah, but I have a problem partially with another thing Manny Machado said, which was, F yeah, spend all the money you possibly can as the Dodgers, which, by the way, is your rival, by the way, which kind of doesn't make... Answer that one, Callan. Why would he say that about his rival?
I mean, why should he even, say anything in the first place is more I would say.
That's what I'm getting at. No, that's what I'm getting at. Like, first of all...
Make sense to me.
I think this type of spending is bad for baseball, but according to Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, he said he could have matched the Dodgers spending. Well, if you were going to, why didn't you sign Edwin Diaz when you had the chance?
Great.
So, are you a fraud, or I wasn't prepared for this. Where is it? All the sounds moved around. That's what's annoying.
I know.
Oh, here it is.
Clown show, clown show, clown show.
That's the one I was looking for, because Steve Cohen is like the boy who cried wolf. Like, he'll run and tell, oh, they're coming. They didn't come. That's Steve Cohen right now. But with the Padres situation, you really can't sign a GM until you know who's going to own the team. That's really the logic of it.
It's like signing the manager, but then not signing, determining the manager before the general manager.
That's like in the NFL when they allow it's the opposite. Like the coach is there, but the GM is not.
Right.
And then the GM's in an awkward situation where when they walk in and say, "Oh, I got to fire the coach because it's not the one I want."
Well, remember when, unfortunately, Nick, you will remember this very well, when they brought on Adam Gase for the head coaching job, and they had Mike Maccagnan make the free agent signings, like signing Le'Veon Bell, and having him make the draft picks, and then a couple of weeks later, it had Adam Gase, before he even coached the game, win a power struggle and get McNaghan out after making the roster, essentially.
Yeah, Mr. Big Eyes making decision for everybody. I mean, I don't. Well, they gave him almost. He wasn't a GM, but they gave him GM power
because he's the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah. Which team is he back with again now? Because I saw he got a job.
Chargers.
Oh, yeah, the Chargers, huh? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I think it was too soon. He's a great GM. I'm sure he would have stayed there.
Well, I don't know if it's too soon, because this was the final year of his contract. That was the main thing at hand here.
But I just find it interesting they would sign him, and the ownership's a little bit in question right now. He would sign a GM. Because what happens if the new owner comes in and says, screw you, I don't want you anymore? Could happen.
I mean, yes, I'm not saying it wouldn't, though, but I think if you do that, you're pulling the plug on the most successful GM in most successful era in franchise history.
No, I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that
either.
But I'm just saying, a lot of times when new regimes come in to a team, they basically degrade the car of its parts and then buy a new car instead, rather than trying to fix up the old car that has 150,000 miles in it.
So, and also what we can confirm via the morning's media scrum today here from San Diego, per what John Seidler and Eric Grupner, who also, by the way, got a contract extension. The CEO got it extended before the GM got extended too. So, where's the logic in that too, if you want to play that as well, is also the fact that John Seidler did confirm that the three public vetters right now, so Joe Lacob, Don Friedkin, who is from San Diego, and Jose Feliciano, are the three confirmed bidders right now for the franchise. There's been some talk of some not named investor groups or firms or individuals that are also been linked. There's been talk too about the valuation. The Seidlers are seeking $3 billion for the franchise. And I already heard it once from a certain other ownership, but the Seidlers are very much of the belief that the franchise will be staying in San Diego, and that is also per Commissioner Rob Manfred, but I will believe that when I see it, sadly.
I still think Joe Lacob is the best choice, though.
Well,
I would think so, but Joe would have to get a bunch of stakeholders because his net worth is nowhere close to the other two guys who are in front of him right now.
Can I ask a question?
Dan Friedkin's worth $10 billion.
Okay. Go ahead.
The Jose Feliciano, not related to the Jose Feliciano who's saying
No,
This Jose Feliciano would be the second Latin American owner behind Artie Moreno of the Angels.
He owns soccer franchises.
Yeah,
I know. I was just making the same name joke.
Yeah, both Friedkin and Feliciano have made their money with European soccer, and then obviously we all know Joe Lacob with the Warriors.
No, Tom, there's no Feliz Navidad here. We're already past the holiday.
But Tom, I guess your thoughts, though, regardless of the contract, about AJ Preller as a whole, though, in San Diego.
Like you said, he's been the best GM that they've had in a while. I think he's the best GM they've had since, well, the Padres went to the 1998 World Series. They won the NL Bennett.
For me, it's probably between him, Trader Jack McKean, who then became the Marlins manager for a long time, and then Kevin Towers.
Series with the manager,
Kevin Towers, who built that team in the late 90s.
So, I don't know. Like, I understand that the Padres have had money issues over the last couple of years. I understand
losing the TV deal was one thing. The loan, as Nick has brought up, though, too, to cover payroll for a couple of seasons because of where the money was bleeding.
Now, the Padres aren't the only team that's dealing with a TV deal issues. That's multiple MLB
teams have lost local television, yes. But they were the first casualty of the whole thing.
Correct. And I get that some in the family were not fans of the aggressive spending like AJ and him had been doing.
Yes.
Having said that, I feel it would be a little, I guess asinine would be an extreme word, but it's a word I can think of right now, to then change ownership and pull the rug from under him and basically setting him up in a way. I mean, not to do an apples to orange situation, but look what's going on in the NFL right now with my team, with the Giants. They just brought in John Harbaugh as head coach, and now new reports are basically that Joe Shane's only role right now is to scout, which basically means at the end of this season he's going to get fired. Is AJ going to meet the same fate if ownership changes hands?
True. Oh, great. Breaking news from Nick Morgasen. What do we got?
I just read a story that Kenny Mayne is banned from Augusta National.
What?
Awful announcing. So apparently he made a off joke comment because Kenny Mayne and his personality is very off color, and I don't mean race. I just mean off color jokes.
This is from Kenny Mayne himself.
Yes, but I found it on Awful Announcing.
Yeah. So he said he told Stu Gatz this.
Oh, probably on Fox Sports. Oh no, it wasn't on Fox Sports Radio. It was on his podcast on YouTube.
Yeah. So here's the full quote. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I think I'm losing this.
Oh, are you?
I think I lost you guys for a little bit. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I have.
Let me grab my phone so I can pull up the story on there.
I have the story set here. I'll read part of it. But he said, I just made some smart-ass comment about we'll see you at the Masters where we bring 4 saucy ladies out to play, is what he said. And apparently Augusta National didn't find that funny. And
Yeah, he told. Here's the quote he told Stugatz. I'm banned from life from Augusta. I think. I used to cover golf. I used to do the TPC Sawgrass, and I did the U.S. Open every year for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years. I remember that. It was me, Van Pelt, Andy North, the whole gang.
Yep.
And then what you said, Nick.
I mean, was it really bad what he said? No. But Kenny Mayne is, what would you classify him as? Like a little bit of a clown, a jokester? Like that was his personality on SportsCenter, and I like Kenny Mayne.
And at Augusta with the Masters, that's held in very professional regard.
Editorial standard.
Classical, yeah.
Yeah, it says that Augusta National exercises extreme editorial control over how its tournament is covered, dictating how broadcasters speak about certain elements, patrons, not fans, and second nine instead of back nine, in an effort to maintain the Masters mystique. That sounds like a little bit
Okay,
of...
Novik, get off my lawn and get out of my bar, for God's sakes. Jiminy Christmas.
He's not kidding, by the way. No, Tom, he's not kidding. I was on a Novik on a playback stream, and I said, what did I say? I said bets.
Novik bets, yes.
I said bets, and they
I remember this.
And they called me on the carpet and they said, it's not a bet. I said, then what is it?
It's a play, you idiot.
What?
Play.
But if I said to the normal
Now, I'd like to get back on track to finish off the thoughts here of the topic at hand here real quick. I wanted to read, guys, a quick part of a story written by MLBTradeRumors.com's Nick Deeds, because I know you guys were asking about what would happen here involving, could Preller be on his way out when ownership changes? He writes in part, the vote of confidence that Preller received, though, from ownership comes at a time where the team is currently in the midst of a transition at its highest levels. Longtime owner Peter Seidler abruptly passed away 3 years ago. And since the team has been under the control of a variety of Seidler family members and associates are at various points in time. After some internal drama regarding the future of the franchise, things appear to be headed towards a potential sale of the franchise as the family began exploring that right back in November. Now, here's an important tidbit. It is right now unclear if any sale does come to fruition at all, much less if progress is being made on that front. With that said, if the Padres sale does occur in the next couple of years, this extension ensures that Preller remains in place to help guide the team through the transition on the field and provide some stability to the hypothetical new ownership group as they get settled in to run the franchise, and then they can throw them out the window.
Yeah, it's not surprising. You do all the work, and then we throw you out.
I mean, I'll just put it this way. I mean, I love AJ. This has been the most fun watching Padre baseball in my 32 years living on this planet, away from 98, away from 96, away from 05 and 06. The last 6 seasons, with obviously COVID was one thing, but then, the magic of 22, getting back in 24 until they went 27 innings without scoring a run in the DS. And then even last season, they still won 90 games back-to-back for the first time ever in franchise history. I mean, guys, before this turnaround, 5 playoff berths in 45 years as a franchise. And this is the same team, gentlemen, who had 5 straight 100-loss seasons and nearly moved out of town to D.C. back in 72. So I love it. I love that there's actually somebody who wants to invest in the product in the city here. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Preller is a high-stakes gambler. The Pods have the 4th best record in the NL since 2020. And more importantly, gentlemen, over 3 million fans 2 years in a row at Petco Park and sellouts virtually every night that ends in letter Y and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, not having the NFL here is what, in a way has really helped the Padres get on the stage, like on the actual big stage, as opposed to all the years where it was, Chargers 1, Padres 1B, and then for a long time the Chargers were here, the Padres were here. So, I mean, I get it, and I think we all agree that, yeah, you would be concerned, as I am and Tom and Nick are, though, a new owner comes in, looks at the bill and says, that was more of my concern, though, before we move on here, was, a new owner comes in and says, and looks at the roster, what the hell is this shit? Nope, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. We go back to 93 where the Padres dealt Sheffield, McGriff, and Tony Fernandez and had fire sales and no one went to the games again. That was more of my concern when the sale was being talked about, along with the fact, the Pods might be leaving for Oakland or for Charlotte or for wherever.
Yeah, but that's any team. Like, you have a good team for a stretch. The Golden State Warriors, who are finally, I think they went a little too long and they should have sold off a little while ago, but
Agreed.
They built up. They were a shitty team for, 10, 15
Forever.
years. And finally, they draft Steph Curry, who was not supposed to be drafted as high as he was supposed to
Johnny
be
Flynn.
out of Davidson, if you remember his huge run in March Madness.
Yes, I do, because I'm Mr. Mid-Major, sir.
Yes. But you got to start somewhere. You win a few titles, then you got to break it back down again. I mean, it's just how we are.
Yeah, it is. All right, guys, we're going to go to the back of the napkin and talk about that NBA dunk contest. Miami Heat undrafted rookie and former San Diego State Aztec Keyshawn Johnson won this year's dunk contest over Carter Bryant. Fellas, Johnson has only played 37 career games and just made more in brand value in 10 minutes than his entire NBA rookie contract. With that in mind, Nick, your thoughts again about the influx of G Leaguers, thanks to LeBron James, and why the big names don't want to take part of the dunk contest anymore.
They're claiming it's injuries. That's BS. It's not injuries. They just don't want to put any extra effort into competing in any of the NBA All-Star festivities, because that means that would be extra effort for no realized gain that they would get out. So they're already on. A lot of these guys have brands already. So what is winning the dunk contest? What is winning the skills contest, the three-point contest? What is that doing for them brand-wise? It's not gaining them anything. So that's why they're just not going to compete in these competitions. But if you set the standard, like I said earlier, with LeBron James, then everyone else would have known, hey, the biggest star and one of the most historic 20-plus year careers in the NBA did the right thing. Everybody else would have followed those footsteps and came along board. Now, there's the NBA. Now, I wish the NBA would force some of these stars to play in these all-star, maybe not the skills, but the dunk contest. Everyone wants to see their favorite star throwing down dunks in a dunk contest, okay? And a lot of times you win it once and then you move on. You realize if LeBron just went in and won one dunk contest, you wouldn't hear people keep saying, well, you're a dumbass because you were not willing to put yourself out on the stage and show off your skills. Like,
Dumbass.
yes, Charles Barkley, I agree. But, wow, that's actually two of the same personalities. But
in fairness, Nick, okay, now I remember what I was going to say. In fairness, some of our favorite NBA players and some players that became the favorites of those who are NBA fans, some of them were from watching the dunk contest and seeing those spectacular dunks, like we said earlier today. Vince Carter throwing it down, the Blake Griffin car jump, Superman with Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
Nash,
yeah. I mean, there's so many classic names. Jason Richardson with the 360 dunk. I mean, there's so many.
Aaron Gordon in Toronto that one year. Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine in Toronto.
Tom's right. Jace Richardson did compete in this year's dunk contest. But Nate Robinson, probably the smallest besides Spud Webb to win the dunk contest. I mean, he won it twice, right? I think so. I mean, him trying to go into boxing or whatever he did afterwards was a failure. But
I mean, who was worse? Who was worse with that transition though from their sport to boxing? Nate Robinson or Tanya Harding
or Le'Veon Bell?
Or Le'Veon Bell.
I will never forget the sight of Nate Robinson getting battered by Jake Paul, and Snoop Dogg is on commentary, basically.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I mean, okay. Nate Robinson got the shit beat out of him.
I mean, he got flattened and dropped like a sack of potatoes at the grocery store.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Got KTFO'd.
Yes, he did. But you know what? Nate Robinson was great for the dunk contest, though, because guys like him and Spud Webb were not meant to win the dunk contest.
And he won it as a Knick, and it was an era where the Knicks were not doing a lot of winning.
But that was probably good marketing-wise that a New York player won the dunk contest.
Wow.
I mean, most of the guys that win now, like who ended up winning this year again?
Keyshawn Johnson of the Miami Heat, San Diego State alum.
I've heard the name, but if you asked me, could I pick him out of a lineup? I couldn't.
37 games played, and most of his time was played in beautiful Sioux Falls, South Dakota with their G League affiliate.
Yeah, but that's the problem. So all these guys, which you're saying are G Leaguers, that's the problem with the NBA.
Because under normal circumstances, should they be competing in a G League slam dunk contest?
Which the G League literally had their showcase game
Yes.
/ 3-point, their own thing at the LA Convention Center.
Wait a minute. Is he an NBA player, though?
I think he's on a two-way with Miami and Sioux Falls.
But I'm saying, was he on the NBA roster, like heading into the All-Star?
I don't believe he was.
Then he shouldn't have been allowed to compete in the NBA dunk contest or anything involved in the NBA. Two-way contract is only for playing. I didn't know it was for the All-Star game, to be honest. But
I mean, and that was the case in the American Hockey League, that one of the two San Diego representatives happened to be an Anaheim call-up at one point and still got named to and partook in the All-Star game and the challenge in Rockford this past Tuesday and Wednesday.
But that tells you the problem, again, that we have with the dunk contest. Because there's plenty of stars that could compete in this contest. You're telling me Anthony Edwards wouldn't be an incredible competitor in the dunk contest? You're telling me Victor Wembanyama, that highlight that I did of that game on playback, watching all those dunks that he did right there, Wemby would be incredible on the dunk stage. The problem is he's already injury prone. So are they going to allow him to compete in the dunk contest? So that's another issue. But I don't know. They screwed up everything in the NBA All-Star Weekend. I don't know if they can recover.
No, I don't think they ever will recover, sadly. And that's where I think, that's why I call it the slam dunk contest, because you don't have any big name guys. Now, yes, I'm all for the G Leaguers as a fellow minor league sports enthusiast, having worked in the minor league game for 10 plus years already. I'm all for, like a guy like a Keyshawn Johnson or a Max McClung, no relation, again for the fifth time on the show, to go and, make that bonus money with the contract. But still, like, where is the headline attractions, especially when you go to LA?
There is none.
There is none. And I get, it's injury, it's this or that. No, I mean, you gotta bed, you risk getting injured. You fall in the shower, you risk getting injured.
I'm just looking up the rosters just so I could. Okay, so 4 people compete in the dunk contest.
None of them were on NBA rosters, I bet.
All right, let's see. Keyshawn Johnson, forward in his second NBA season. Carter Bryant for the Spurs was a first-round draft pick in 2025, so he's first season.
Okay.
Jackson Hayes, who actually is on the Lakers roster.
Yes.
But he's not a great player, to be quite honest. But he's a 7-footer. I think that you would have thought that would have been an advantage, right? As a 7-footer.
You would think.
And then Jason Richardson of the Magic, that's Jason Richardson's son. You would think there'd be some good genes there, right? Because Jason Richardson was incredible.
And Brian, in the finals, his first dunk, perfect 50s across the board.
Yep.
And I think if you're able to do that, you should have the win. But they make him do a second dunk so they can get 100 score. And
the average out. Yeah.
Right. But then he basically screws up his dunks to the point where he does a very basic dunk with like 1 second left.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, they really should just cancel the NBA All-Star Weekend because there's nothing to gain out of what's going on.
It's a moneymaker, Nick. People go to see it.
How much money? No one has the answer for that.
I mean, tickets were going for $6,000 for the games on Sunday.
First of all, there was less than 20,000 people inside the building watching that game. That's a disgrace for an All-Star game.
Especially in a brand new arena that I went to 2 weeks ago, and it's a beautiful place.
Well, Callan, to that extent, that's just a sports and entertainment problem in general.
Big time.
I mean, if you look at it on the sports end, the prices for some of these games and the baseball stadiums and the football stadiums, and if you look on the entertainment end, I mean, some of these tickets for things like the WWE and UFC for WrestleMania. A nosebleed
beyond
seat.
Exuberant, yes.
Callan, I just saw recently an article, a nosebleed seat, like Section 4 or whatever, $800.
That's the problem because
obstructed view, and I'm sure Tom, it's got obstructed view seating too because of the stage.
Here's the problem with any All-Star game, and this is baseball. It's like the biggest offender of this rule that I'm about to say. All All-Star festivities are corporate.
Yeah. And I went to the All-Star game here 10 years ago in San Diego. I went to the Home Run Derby and the Fan Fest, and it cost an arm and a leg the whole weekend. Or week.
Sports in general.
Right,
like,
but it's all corporate.
Well, sports in general, I mean, there's obviously a corporate history, but it feels even more corporate than it has previously.
No, I get that, but I'm saying a lot of times they're looking for businesses to buy the tickets to the festivities of any sport. Now, by the way, I was generous on the attendance. I actually gave them about 5,000 more fans than they were. The official recorded attendance at Intuit Dome, 15,973. That's a disgrace. And isn't that stadium large?
Can you repeat the number again real quick?
The attendance for the All-Star game was 15,973.
So they were about 2K short of their total capacity.
Wait, that's the whole stadium?
Capacity is 18,300.
I thought it was a lot more because I thought the stadium was larger.
Eight, maybe for concerts it holds 20,000, but not for an NBA game.
But that's still not that many, though. 15,000?
I mean, 15,000 would sell out the sports arena here in San Diego by a long shot. Or actually, it would still be 1,000 shy of even getting our attendance in San Diego for a non-hockey game.
It doesn't seem like a lot. I mean, oh, you're right. Intuit Dome is 18,300 at capacity. But
and how much was the NBA ASG again?
15,973.
So about 16,000.
2,327 seats short of a sellout.
That's still a lot of seats missing.
But I would also say, well, who's not to say that it was sold out, but people chose not to go inside the dome and they wanted to be outside with all the content creators and DJ Sean or Nichols. I would have done that if I was there.
Just for context, that's Callan's friend, by the way.
You go and check episode 5 of Small Market Edition again.
But they were saying that a lot of the tickets could have been given to kids who couldn't afford to go.
Like the Clippers Foundation, the NBA Cares initiatives, what have you. Yeah.
Get some kids into the arena, let them watch the game because they can't afford a freaking all-star game ticket.
Yeah, and having gone to Intuit a couple weeks ago, I'm sure people were either on the basketball court outside watching the game on the big screen TV, or they were in the store going through all the merch and stuff, or they just didn't go inside.
And then you just have issues like Tom and I have been to Fanatics before. It costs an arm and a leg to go to Fanatics just to get in the door. And then if you want other merch,
the autographs and everything,
you'll be lucky if you walk out of there paying what, $500-$600 by the time you're done.
Comic-Con in San Diego's the same way. And I've been to it once in my 31 years living here.
They're all highway robbery. They take advantage of fans because they know they're coming there and that you're going to have to spend some money to go to these events. When you go to the All-Star festivities in any sport, I got to go get the All-Star jersey. I got to go get the hat. I mean,
I wanted to, but I'm like, no, I'm okay.
You realize the exorbitant prices. What do you think? They marked them up by like 30-40% probably for All-Star weekend?
When I went to my league's All-Star game in Ontario, California 6 years ago, like the week of Kobe's helicopter crash, literally the only thing I got was a game puck or a puck, and I took a picture with the league trophy. It was like a $5 donation to the team foundation. Like, okay, I may hate the organization that was hosting because they're the main rival of the Gulls. Like, if it's going to charity, sign me up, and it did.
But just some of it, like every stadium I go to, because I've traveled to about 12 stadiums now for Major League Baseball, and I go and I don't buy it like from here. I always go to every stadium I go to. I buy because I want it to be from the stadium that I go.
Yeah, same.
Some of them are like $40, $45, $50.
And what do you collect? Usually hats, or what do you collect?
Hats. All hats. I have a hat from every stadium I've been to.
Yeah, I collect hats, and then the souvenir soda cups usually is what I collect.
And I used to, because when I first started going, they had tickets. I still had that.
No.
Obviously, you can't do that.
My brother was always foam fingers.
Yes, I do remember you telling me that.
I love foam fingers, yeah.
Those are always good. All the markups, like you go on, don't buy from Fanatics because they screw up your name on the back of your jersey or the size. Tom, we talked about that a long time ago. Was it them who screwed up the jerseys that were invisible, or was that somebody else?
I'd have to look that back up.
When MLB gave the license away to another company to make the jerseys, and like players' private parts were starting to be seen through the jerseys because they were like fading because of the sweat.
That was Fanatics.
Yeah, Fanatics has had a
The
horrible
small
time.
letters, the see-through pants, all that stuff.
I just remember Tom and I laughed at that.
And on top of the fact, I wrote a small market Substack a while back about how jersey creativity as a whole has also gone down the tubes. You know, the Padres are debuting a new City Connect in April. I've been told it's supposed to be Day of the Dead inspired because of San Diego's cross-border Latin American population who lives in the city and the Spanish culture of my hometown. But there's been really no concrete information except for a giveaway of Fernando Tatis Jr. with a bobblehead in September when that rolls around. And, you know, who knows what else will happen with that.
Yeah, I don't even know. But it just costs an arm and a leg because of all the corporate nonsense to go to these games. And trust me, I've always wanted to go to a home run derby because those are cool.
I went. It was worth it. But I forgot how much my brother, dad, and I paid, but it was worth it.
It probably doesn't matter. All the seats are probably expensive.
It was 10 years ago, too, when the game was in San Diego.
That wasn't a Judge year, was it?
No, that was Giancarlo Stanton winning it in 16.
Oh, that was before all the injuries, right?
Yes.
Before he got traded.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
All right.
No.
What's next?
I mean, you know, I think every All-Star game is a sham. Other than Four Nations and probably maybe Major League Baseball. I might have saw the gimmicks of the in-game interviews and stuff like that and whatnot. And by the way, this year's game is going to be in Philadelphia for those wondering concerning the American 250th birthday coming up in July. All right, gents, we'll shift gears to our bench confessionals again. These are some very weird, awkward, and sometimes out of bounds and off the wall takes from local bars that I have scoured over the weekend of sports enthusiasts around San Diego, California. Mr. Morgasen, we'll start with confession number one that I heard over the weekend. Callan, the NBA All-Star World Team is a joke. Victor Wembanyama goes 0-2 and looked like he'd rather be elsewhere. Stop telling me that the world is caught up to the when the U.S. Stars team blew the doors off of the veterans. But again, Nick, this goes back to our point. Who cares about the NBA All-Star Weekend? For God's sakes, make it stop.
First of all, that's funny because there's more international stars right now currently than there are American stars right now currently the way it's constructed. Top players like Jokic and Wemby, and you could go on and on and on. There's so many that the U.S. would get crushed the way the branding is. Oh, God. What?
It's not breaking. No. It's not breaking news, guys. I found the email of when me and my brother and dad bought our home run derby tickets for Petco Park 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How much do you think the grand total is, Nick? I'll start with you.
God. It's definitely going to be over $100. I'll tell you that. I don't know. I'm going to say somewhere between $250 and $300, somewhere in there.
Tom?
$350?
$888 total.
Holy shit. Wow.
So that means that we paid $296 per ticket.
Okay, I'm thinking per ticket.
Per ticket, $298.
That's still a lot. But
that's around the total that Nick was
10
thinking.
years ago, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was. I said like $250 to $300. Yeah. But to get back to the point, when you have stars, you have Jokic, you have Giannis, you have Luka. I mean, you have Wemby.
And now all I'm thinking of is the NBC commercial that they were running of parodying "Everyone Wants to Rule the World."
Yes.
Everybody.
But
you, Tears for Fears.
But that's ridiculous, though. The international stars, I mean, even include Shai from Canada. I mean, there's so many more stars internationally than there are in the U.S., but to say they're washed, come on, man. That's not an NBA fan. That's a fraud.
Exactly. Tom, the next confession comes to you, my friend. Tom, the Daytona 500 needs to be shortened. 500 miles is too long for a race that is decided by who survives a wreck at 409 at mile 490. What a waste of gas and a waste of my Sunday afternoon.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Hold on.
I'm a dumbass.
It's called the Daytona 500 for a reason.
Exactly.
It's a marketing reason.
I'm sorry, Callan, but that's like one of the ones from the last time I was on. That doesn't need an answer. That's just
It doesn't need an answer.
That's just
Exactly.
Clown show, clown show, clown show, clown show.
Yeah, or more
Oh
like,
my God, who the hell cares?
I mean, if it's 500 laps, it's 500 laps.
What most people don't understand, that's a marketing ploy. That's really what that is. It has nothing to do with
The Auto Club 400, exactly.
So it's all marketing, people. Like, don't take it literally. If you're gonna start taking sports literally, then just leave. Don't be a sports fan.
I want to double check.
and by the way, it's miles. That's why they have the 500. It's actually 200 laps.
I'm double checking to see. I'm going to double check to see what the event for San Diego is. I think they have a name for it finally. I think it's Father's Day weekend. It is called. Where is it? It's going to be on Fox, obviously. Boop, 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 boop.
So that actually just makes it more.
I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ugh.
So it is going to be called the Andorol 250 Race the Base Coronado.
I mean, they're all marketing ploy names. Like, I always laugh when you talk about the Padres TV all the time when you say that long name.
Padres.tv, presented by UC San Diego Health.
They actually say that every single time, right? Like, it's part of the
all
title.
I can think of that. Well, Nick, I could think on the New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Yes, of course. Like, it's part of the deal. And but that one will change. Whoever gives the Yankees more money at that point. But
Presented by the Tri-State Dodge Dealers.
it's NBA coast to coast.
Presented by Kia.
Kia. It's always been Kia. Always.
Peacock NBA Mondays presented by Xfinity.
Right. So like it's all marketing ploy. There's really no, if you're taking it that seriously and Tom's right, that's laps, not miles.
Miles, not laps.
Miles, not laps. Sorry. But like if you're gonna take everything literally in professional sports, you are gonna want to throw yourself off a cliff and hit the floor. You know what this is? This is literally the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote taking it too literally, and then he crashes into the wall and has the giant boulder land on him. Like
I could watch episodes of that cartoon on YouTube like on hours.
No, the moms of America are going to stop you now.
No, please, whatever. Nick, Stephon Diggs is better off without Cardi B and the Pats. New England is a toxic environment right now. He needs to demand a trade to a team with a dome and a vibe that matches his top shelf talent. Your thoughts?
Oh, God. Are we really
I'm a
entertaining
dumbass.
this thought? I mean, that's literally my thoughts on Stephon Diggs and Cardi B. And by the way, that clip did well from the lounge last week.
Oh, man, it was great.
where John Ladder was professing his love for Cardi B during the show.
Nick, you want my thoughts on Stephon Diggs and Cardi B?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
It's true. Or better
Because
yet,
he's a raw pain in the ass.
I mean, it's just like another celebrity couple that
they're broken up.
that they blow up
Well,
exactly.
here's the thing. I think Stephon Diggs, and this is gonna kind of connect the stuff we talked about on Forecast, Nick, before and after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is he a valuable piece as a wide receiver for New England? Absolutely. You can talk about Stephon Diggs being a head case all you want. He helped elevate that Patriots team, and I think he did find a new home in New England.
And if I could tie that into baseball, I would say the same thing, because the narrative I think you guys have heard those that the Padres have to trade Machado or Tatis because of the contract, or there are cancers in the locker room, or they're this or they're that. I mean, if they get you to the World Series, I think you'll trade away the head case narrative to go and get the championship ring, much like with Stephon Diggs.
Well, you could say the same thing about Tyreek Hill, who just got released.
Or Tyreek Hill, yeah.
And you know what? In my opinion, I think there's only one destination technically for him to go back to, if you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
But because I don't think any other team's going to want to take a chance on the head case that he's become.
Well, and nor that I think he was going to win in Miami anyway, to be very frank.
No.
Well, I don't think that was ever a choice. I mean, I think the Chiefs had to basically dispose of him because he was either not healthy or a problem off the field.
The money. No, it's just also about the money.
Well, that too, but
the point that I was getting to was that, was basically what we kind of really emphasized, talking with Ben on last week's forecast and during the post game of the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs is a good piece for them, but I don't feel confident right now for New England to have Matt Collins or Stephon Diggs as your wide receiver number one.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the Stephon Diggs of 2025, 2026, not the Stephon Diggs of 2017, 2018, making the catch for the miracle in Minneapolis.
I mean, that was incredible, that catch to this day.
I think the call's still one of the best, too, of recent memory. Joe Buck on Fox.
But the whole thing of him apparently allegedly choking out his private chef and her... first of all, I don't blame her. If she got choked out, then she should sue him for everything, if that's the case. But again, we haven't learned anything since this, because they delayed it because he's an NFL player and he had to go to the Super Bowl, which I'm wondering if they won, if that would have even been thrown out, the entire case, if he had won, because then everyone would have said, oh, look, he's part of a winning team, and we got to go like this. We got to slap on the wrist again.
What? Yeah, but you know what? And Nick, because that's the culture of sports. Wait, what did I say?
How would you describe the culture surrounding this football team?
The culture is actually damn good.
Thank you, Bruce Allen.
Oh, man. All right, Tom, next confession. I actually like this one. Callan, the Winter Olympics are the only pure sports left. No NIL, no demands of trades. Just some random dude from Switzerland winning gold in a slalom because he's the best at it. We need more of this and less of this all-star fluff bullshit.
I understand the sentiment, and I want to agree. Here's the problem. Hockey uses the NHL pros.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the summer, the basketball uses the NBA pros.
And then baseball maybe in 28.
But it speaks to that problem too. You do it for the NHL, you do it for the NBA, Major League Baseball, especially if the owners are willing to lock out for as long as they say that they're willing to lock out.
And by the way, the other caveat, NFL for flag football in 28 in Los Angeles too.
They're not going to allow him to play. I just don't see it happening.
Are you talking about the NFL or the MLB?
The NFL. They have too much money on the line, I think. But you can say the same thing about the NBA. The NBA has, $80 billion on the line?
And I was just going to say the NFL lets their guys play these Pro Bowl games that are flag football too, and there's no risk, and there's risk of injury.
But I think but the Pro Bowl games involve teams that are basically out of it. For the NFL, here's the thing about the NFL and with the timing of the Summer Olympics. On one hand, you could say, well, it's during preseason time and preseason games just don't really matter. On the other hand, it's going to be during the training camp right as they're getting ready for the season. So obviously the injury risk comes back into play. And number two, you've also got the rumors that are going around that in a couple of years' time, the NFL owners and Roger Goodell are going to be chomping at the bit to get that 18th game, even if it means lowering the preseason and doing 2 bye weeks for teams.
Why do we need 18 games is my $1 million question.
We don't.
All right, well, we'll just sit here for a second. Give it a couple of minutes, boys. This is literally the NFL when we get to 18 games.
Hey, at least the NFL gives us football. MLB might not give us baseball soon. That's the MLB cracking down after a while.
That's Major League Baseball trying to figure out its CBA.
Oh, no, I was going to say the WNBA with their CBA. Nick, what are you talking about?
Oh, God. So we're not going to have any Major League Baseball. We're not going to have WNBA. What's next?
I have no idea. With that in mind, guys, we'll go to the aftertaste. And, of course, this is about the All-Star game again. But, of course, LeBron James did make his record-setting 22nd All-Star appearance, but scores 5 points in the final game. Mr. Morgasen, with rumors of LeBron leaving L.A. for a potential Grand Circle tour of the NBA next season in Cleveland, Is the aftertaste of LeBron James becoming more bitter, or are we perhaps witnessing one of the most graceful exits in all of sports history, or is this more than it should be?
You're going to ask him that question?
Sorry. Graceful exit. Give me a break. First of all, he's not retiring after the CSM. Sounds like Heidi music.
I think close enough.
But no, this is not a graceful exit. He's going to go. I'm going to break the news to everybody before all the big major platforms break it. Okay. He's leaving the Lakers after this season. Okay.
That way the Lakers can actually financially reset and get themselves back on track.
He's going to leave the Lakers and he's going to end up in one of two destinations. It's either going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers or the New York Knicks. And that's where he's going to finish.
No. The freaking Knicks organization, all the upside is going to come crashing down if that happens.
But you have to think about it, though. There's no trade assets because you'd be a free agent. So it's not costing you anything if he were to sign as a free agent for 1 year. In the past, you would have been right because there would have been trade assets.
I understand.
By the way, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think that's the best destination.
But here's going to be the take that's going to have all the guns drawn at me. If LeBron signs, that I'm not going to talk about numbers in terms of the positioning on the court, but I think at that point, LeBron is your number 4, number 5 in your starting 5. He's not 1, 2, or 3. He's not above Brunson.
No. Brunson, it's going to be like what D Wade was in Miami, where D Wade, it'll be Jalen Brunson's team. If he shows up in New York, he will probably be like a 2.5, I would call it. Where
not to say LeBron's obviously still got something, but this is not the LeBron from the Cleveland Cavalier days. This is not the LeBron from Miami Heat days.
In my opinion, I think he's better off going to Cleveland. And I was shocked when I heard Stephen A. say
I think it would be more. If Callan's going to talk about, story based and full circle based, I think it makes more sense to go to Cleveland.
Well, I couldn't believe when Stephen A. said it on First Take. He said if LeBron goes back to Cleveland, he thinks Cleveland's going to win it all next year. He said.
But again, this is not the LeBron James who was able to carry that team.
Cavaliers for all those years, exactly.
Yeah, but you have to admit Cleveland is in a much better position now.
No, they are than they were 10 years ago, without a doubt.
First of all,
but it also reminds me of that 2016 team where, here's the difference. With the 2018 team, LeBron was basically carrying the Cleveland Cavaliers team on his back.
Along with Kyrie Irving.
But that 2015, that was going to go to the 2015-16 team that pulled off the 3-1 comeback. You had LeBron, you had prime Kyrie, you had prime Kevin Love. You had people around him.
I mean, Kyrie Irving was the one who hit the game-winning shot in the finals.
And now, if you want to make the comparison with, something with Miami and something with D Wade, the 05-06 champions, it was D Wade and Shaq.
I agree with you. I mean,
you'd say in Cleveland it would be Spidey and LeBron.
That's where I was going. Well, here's the weird issue you're going to run into now with Mr. I'm Fat in Cleveland.
I forgot about that.
Because he got traded to Cleveland. By the way, I think that was the best move for his entire career running from LA. By the way, the Clippers, not the Lakers. Because the Clippers are going to get blown up by the A-bomb that Callan said before.
Desperation.
And I'm not talking about A-Rod, by the way.
Desperation.
But I think James Harden could actually have some good years in Cleveland. And I think that might be a good fit, being like a 3 in Cleveland behind like a Donovan and oh my God, I'm forgetting some of who's the big man?
Jared Allen.
Well, yes, but the other guy who has range and can shoot threes.
Sam Merrill.
No. I'm looking this up really quick because I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, Evan Mobley. I happen to like Evan Mobley. I think Max Strus is a really good player. So they got a core. I like Jared Allen because my Nets traded him away. In one of the worst trades in the history of history. But plug in LeBron back there with Mitchell and Mobley and Allen and Max Strus, and And you might get some other guys to go there on minimum deals. Like if you remember back when LeBron signed with Miami, you might see some veteran guys say, "Oh, I'll go attach myself to winning over there and take a minimum deal." Or if you remember with the Celtics when PJ Brown signed a minimum deal to play with the Celtics. So if he do I agree that they're going to win it all? No. I think that's an over-exaggeration reach. Will they make a run, though, with that team, with LeBron and Harden and Mobley and Mitchell? Yeah, they will. But the problem is you're going to have so many egos on that team. They're going to want to touch the basketball that it's going to be impossible to get Mitchell the ball because Harden's going to want to shoot all the time.
Because he's a raw pain in the ass.
True. And LeBron's going to want to shoot. Now, the one credit I will give LeBron, since he's gotten older, is that he's more willing to pass the basketball in his older age. So maybe he will be more facilitator on that team if he goes back.
Well, can I ask a different kind of question?
I was going to jump in real quick because I even think, guys, and this is a bit of a weird comparison too, but I would say the same about a late Kobe, though I know he was still carrying the Lakers for all those years. Despite
he was a facilitator.
But now he became a facilitator. He was more willing to pass the ball and not have to always take the final shot to, finish off some comeback or whatever. That I think that Nick is right, though, that LeBron at the age he's at now probably realizes, hey, I don't really have to carry a team anymore like I once had to 10, 15, 20 years ago.
The scary part is he's still averaging 22 points a game this year.
It's like fine wine.
Can I ask another question, though?
Yes.
Considering who we're talking about. Is one of the stipulations that will come with LeBron James that team has to trade for Bronny?
Doubtful.
They can't. Is it going to happen? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Because I'm hearing rumors that he might stay in L.A. Now, do I buy that?
Simply because Bronny's under contract for at least another year.
I'm going to look that up really quick because I want to.
I found his contract. So it's a 4-year rookie deal, but there's an club option for the 4th.
Oh,
where if he doesn't improve, where if his play doesn't improve, they probably cut him.
It's a club option or a player option?
Club.
So the option rests with the Lakers.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Even though it's a club option, you do know LeBron's going to have the power to get him out of that contract if he wanted to.
So here's what Spotrac says. Bronny James signed a 4-year, $7.8 million contract with the Los Angeles Lakers when he was drafted, including $4.3 million guaranteed and an average annual salary of $1.9 million, or just shy of $2 million. In 25-26, James Jr. is earning a base salary of $1.95 million, carrying that same value as a cap hit and the same value as a dead cap.
There's another note here also, and this actually comes into play. So under contract notes, he became eligible for a trade on December 15th, 2025. So just keep that in the back of your head if he were to go to New York. By the way, can you imagine if he were to go to New York and say, "Oh, you got to take my son with you there too"?
Well, we'll throw him in Westchester.
But I'm saying, the headache that's going to cause.
Oh, I know. But at that point, you can't. The Knicks are on such a good pace. You can't ruin them.
I wouldn't mess with them. You're 100% right. The Knicks are playing the best basketball in the last 3 to 4 years alone. Like they got to go win.
If this is 2020 and the Knicks are in that weird kind of position, then you take LeBron on. But Nick, you and I have talked about this. For the Knicks now, where they are and considering where the rest of the league is, you have a 3 to 4 year window where you got to make it to at least one final.
I mean, could I tell you, and usually I don't say this very often, I actually approved of the Knicks not jumping on the Giannis trade at the deadline. I think that was smart. Not depleting the roster. Now, do I think Giannis in the long run could be a better player than Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah, I do. But
only if he's healthy.
But in the last 16 months, he's been down 4 or 5 times already.
Because of the calf.
So in the long run, if I'm comparing the two, Giannis would be the bigger depth. He's also younger. But at the same time, Karl Anthony Towns is a very consistent player for this Knicks roster. Jalen is your glue guy. He's the one that's got to lead this team. And you have to be worried that he's going to be healthy all the way through the playoffs to get where you need to get. If he doesn't get hurt in the playoffs against the Pacers in that series, do they win that series? Like, that's the big question you got to ask yourself there. So, I don't know. I mean, where do I think Bronny James ends up? I don't know if it's like a lock that he's going to go with LeBron wherever he goes. But it would be kind of silly, right? Like,
yeah, but again, if we're taking on and ruining our stuff with getting LeBron here in New York, then Bronny's going to Westchester and he's not seeing a minute of NBA time, except for maybe LeBron's final regular season game.
I just don't think Bronny is meant for the NBA, period. Like, I don't think he's good enough to be in the NBA. If he's not LeBron James's son, is he being drafted in the NBA? No.
Well, when he was unhealthy that 1 year and then went straight into college, he had that 1 year of college and went straight into the NBA. He really could have benefited from another year of NCAA
I agree.
basketball.
No, I agree totally. Do I think he has potential to be NBA talent? Yeah, but he got pressured to go to the NBA.
He got rushed. He got rushed back from injury too quick, and he got rushed into the NBA too quick. If he had the full college experience,
I mean, he could have stayed for the NILs. I mean, it made that money. I don't know why.
That's true too.
I don't know why he rushed, unless his whole prerogative is if I attach myself to my father, then I'll get the money that I want sooner. But if you're not good, then is it really worth rushing? And there's no turning back. At least that's what some players think. They can come back from the NBA and go to unless they think what was that player that went back to Alabama?
Chambliss?
No, that's Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
But the Alabama player who was drafted in the NBA and then actually went back to college and signed an NIL deal, which was, I think it's Charlie something.
Hold on, I'm looking it up. Charles Bediako.
Yeah, there was a whole lawsuit over that. Like, he took it all the way up to like the Supreme Court or something, saying, I deserve to go back to. First of all, you get drafted by the NBA. Why would you want to go back to college?
Well, in some cases, you can earn more in college now than you can in the professional leagues.
But that shouldn't be allowed. Once you get drafted out of the NBA, you should be allowed to say,
I know, but I'm saying, like, college athletes say can make more than they can in the professionals, some of them.
Go ask Carson Beck how that worked out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Bronny James is going to ever make the money his father made. Like,
probably not.
I mean, I'm curious now what LeBron James's earnings are, because it's got to be what, over $500 million?
Or something close to it.
Let me look. $580 million. That's just from the NBA.
So yeah, well, the ESPN trade machine is still a thing on ESPN.com, fellas.
That's Tom's favorite.
Yeah.
So if you were to trade Cat for Giannis straight up, the trade works.
What? Wait, do they give you reasons on the trade machine? I don't remember.
All it says that if you were to trade Cat and Giannis, they both make the same salary of $54 million.
Holy shit.
And the trade would go through straight up without having to do anything else.
Yeah, but that's just money, because Tom and I know this well, because everyone tried to trade Kevin Durant for whatever players, and I'm like, do the salaries match? No. Well, then you can't trade them. You got to trade even salary.
And the salaries for both of them do match up, and it would work.
First of all, the Knicks would lose on that deal because Karl-Anthony Towns is the bigger value player currently.
So that's where we're at right now. All right, guys, we'll get to our pour one out segment here. We have two options that we can pour one out for. Who had it, though, gentlemen, the worst over the weekend? Carter Bryant for his botched final dunk, or the 20 wrecked cars at Daytona? Mr. Morgasen, who do you pour one out for tonight? The rookie who missed the dunk, or the drivers who never saw the finish line at Daytona this weekend? Who is it?
Ugh, I don't like either of them. I guess
or the world team going 0-2 barbecue at the All-Star game in Inglewood.
I would just pour one out for the entire NBA All-Star weekend because I thought it was an abstract failure. Like, all right, let's play 4 games. Let's have 3 teams from the U.S. and one world team when you could have made 3 world teams. I mean, Adam Silver basically saying, that we got to stop tanking when he has no idea how to. Finding a team of $500,000 when the team actually won the damn game. Saying that AI is going to be involved in broadcasts. I mean, Adam, what's next? Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to make LeBron James the next commissioner of the NBA?
That or they're going to start using those courts that I showed you that the Big 12 is going to be doing for the conference tournament.
Oh, or are we going to go back to the slippery floors for what's it called? That tournament you like during the
NBA Cup, the Emirates NBA Cup,
or the Callan McClurg NBA Cup.
Yes, the Callan P. McClurg Memorial NBA Cup. There you go.
You were into it. I just don't understand it.
I'm always into it because I know it's foreign because it's a European soccer ordeal, but I love it because it adds incentive to all the guys that are on two-way deals or getting called up at hour 11 to come and play for the team.
Well, that I agree with. Those guys should be paid. And in my opinion, the big guys should give their money to the end guys on the roster because they don't need the money. But I don't know. I would just pour one out for the NBA All-Star Weekend. Actually, better yet, you might want to drink more to forget the NBA All-Star Weekend than pouring it out. That's a waste.
Yeah. Tom, how about you? Carter Bryant or the 20 wrecked drivers at Daytona on Sunday?
I'm going to go with Carter Bryant. I mean, the fact that he got 50s all across the board for his first dunk in the final round. It's like, okay, all he's got to do is just nail one more dunk, and he's going to get it. And then...
Was he the one who hit his head?
What?
Was he the one who hit his head on the floor?
No. Was that Jace? That might have been Jace.
That might have been Jace. Yeah, one of the guys actually hit their head on the floor trying to attempt to dunk.
Oh, I stopped and I gasped. I said, "Oh my god!" And I
got a witness. He is broken in half.
Damn it, Jim Ross.
Oh man, I will pour a double out for Carter Bryant to be the betting favorite, and then trip at the finish line is a public tab nightmare. He'll be on all the highlight reels for the wrong reasons for the remainder of the week. But I think that Nick's also right. The whole NBA All-Star Weekend needs to have like a double shot tonight.
Shh, don't say bet. The NBA might hear you.
Well, there's no team in San Diego, so come and fight me. There you go. Gentlemen, before we lock the doors tonight, though, I'd like to bring it back to that empty seat we talked about at the end of the bar this evening. We talked a lot about a lot of games tonight, and the fact that Anthony Edwards is now a global icon at Intuit Dome, and Tyler Reddick giving Michael Jordan of a Daytona 500 trophy that he'll probably cherish as much as his 6 NBA rings, and even joked about Norway owning the snow in Milano like they invented the concept of winter. But as we step out for the night, though, as I said earlier, our hearts remain in Pawtucket. In 25 years of being around the rink, I've learned that the hockey community and our sports community is not just a group of people who like a sport, but it's also a family. And when a family member is hurting, we all feel it. To those, again, recovering this evening, you have an entire community of skaters, announcers, and fans behind you. We won't forget the ones that we lost today, and we'll be here when you're ready to lace them up once again. But on a lighter note, though, fellas, if there's one thing that sports taught us this weekend, is that the new guard is finally here. Whether it's Ant-Man taking over the NBA or the Padres giving A.J. Preller more years that chess pieces move, the landscape is changing. And while Stephon Diggs is finding out the hard way that a Super Bowl loss is often the least of your problems, when the dark side follows you home, the rest of the world is still spinning. Major thank you again to both Nick Morgasen and Tom Albano for joining us in the trenches tonight here on ETB Lounge. The scoreboards have flicked off. The stadiums are officially empty. And in here, though, the conversation and the light stays on. We are back later this week to see if the NBA All-Star mini games are actually the future or a fever dream we all shared over the course of the last 3 days. Until Saturday night or Sunday, depending on when Nick wants to do the damn show again. Until next time, though, the ETB Lounge is officially closed until sometime this weekend, whenever D-Mark gets his head out of his ass and wants to actually schedule the show at a proper date and time.
Maybe if he would stop with all those unnecessary wagers, maybe he would get back to it.
We'll see what happens, folks. The lounge is closed, but the tab is never settled. On a serious note, though, folks, Nick DiMartino is back this weekend, though, I don't even know where we're going to be heading this weekend. NBA, maybe some NFL offseason news. I don't know what he'll conjure up, but we'll see, though.
March Madness covered.
March Madness, conference tournaments are starting up very soon. Man, me going a lot of different directions now. Crazy.
That's true. By the way, thank you to everybody. We did get up over 90 finally for this show because Twitter's being an ass. Yes.
Yeah,
I
we're
am.
and I applaud Nick, by the way.
I mean,
for-
we
for
keeping a
trying to
buck
get-
right now. We ass.
Yeah, Twitter, you have been an ass. Thank you, Elon Musk. You're banned from the bar forever anyway, so don't even bother showing up. But yeah, I mean, Nick and Zan and Tom, for that matter, myself and Nico have been basically steel chair to the backside of Twitter for the past 5 days because the problem really came up. Just as a little behind the scenes here, the problem sprouted up, I think, after one of the early shows of the Olympic coverage. And we didn't know if it was like, are we being flagged for spam for too many programs on so many outlets or this? But apparently it's just, as Nick said, an API issue between
it's
StreamYard and
StreamYard.
Twitter.
StreamYard is actually the issue. So I do have to take some back because I thought it was Twitter causing issues with us completely. I found out it's actually a StreamYard issue. And now if you go in your StreamYard room, if you are a StreamYard user, you can thank me, by the way, because I was arguing with them for about 7 or 8 hours. Because I don't sleep anyway. It says X Twitter is experiencing issues with live stream posts. If you can't find your live in X, you can manually post it. So if
So you know
finally,
why we came on early 5 minutes and you just saw that welcome thing? Yeah, because we were trying to help set up on that Twitter end for those of you who are watching on Twitter. Thanks.
So don't worry. On Wednesday, Nick and I will have the old school Native American Indian head, please stand by logo to open the show on Wednesday.
Callan, is that going to come complete with the color bar tone?
Yes.
oh, we should.
Yes. And instead of the
No,
Indian,
you'll turn off your audience that way.
instead of the Indian head, it'll be me wearing the headdress instead of
No, we could do with the Looney Tunes. Well, that's all, folks.
That's for the ending of the show.
No. You should have that image of the puppy dog pulling the cord out of the thing. It's technical difficulties.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
or you could do the Simpsons one with the drunken cameraman.
Technical difficulties.
By the way, since you're off this week, you should do Outsiders with them.
For the Simpsons technical difficulties thing.
Just saying.
Tom could be the third man for press row on Wednesday morning at this rate, or Wednesday afternoon. I should say.
It's technically Wednesday afternoon, but since this is
Coast to coast.
Coast to coast. Oh God, don't say coast to coast, please. That brings back bad memories for Callan. Coast to coast, review and preview. Pick your choice. Oh,
the
what about Space Ghost, coast to coast?
What?
Space Ghost, coast to coast.
Oh, Jesus. What is happening?
It's us getting out of here for the night. It was a great show, though. Again, folks, as Nick said, we're trying to work through these Twitter issues right now. But
90 people are watching right now, so we did something right.
And that should encourage you, though, to go and find us at youtube.com/ETB Network, where you don't have to worry about missing the live show on Twitter.
Yeah, go check that out. We will have some more news on our San Diego Elite Draft league situation. That's pretty much, as they say, on the 5-yard line currently being closed. So you are going to see some. We're going to have a hockey partner, and maybe this will lead us to some other stuff down the line,
including a major event in July for the roller hockey world too. Yes.
So just stay tuned for that.
And yes, the XLB will be coming too.
Also, I can mention this also because he's sitting here. We are looking to bring back Ultimate Fighter when they announce that.
Oh, you mean Tough Enough?
I mean Tough Enough.
When the Ultimate Fighter comes back.
You know what I meant.
When it happens, that's up to Paramount to tell us when.
Yeah, but you have to admit the difference is now you're not fighting against actual programming.
Yes.
Like, what was it the one time, and we'll get out of here, I promise. What was it one night?
Because on ESPN, they were airing some tennis
Little
thing.
League. No, I thought it was
Little League. Yeah.
So
it was Little League, and then they had the Serena documentary. So that pushed it back another hour. So it was like 11:30 when it started.
And that was a pain in the ass because we had that as a live to tape for reasons. For reasons that I don't want to give away because I don't want us losing the ability to do certain things with it. And when was it scheduled usually?
11:05 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday.
And when did it air eventually?
Like 12:30 a.m.
Jeez.
Well, because Dana White was an asshole with ESPN. So he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to be an asshole back. And that led to this time, now that it's on Paramount, it's not going to be going up against like a network of programming like ESPN Plus has. So now, to be honest, they might drop that sooner, right? Now that there's nothing up against it, or no?
Well, we'll see. Right now, they're just doing casting now, which is a few months later than normal.
Which means you might not see until what, summer?
Midsummer.
When was it? When was it when we did it?
We always did.
Watch hours at least.
So
Yes.
Tough always aired. It was Memorial Day weekend through right before school started back up for me.
That's right. Okay.
Now there's a chance it might actually run into the start of school season.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, but at the same time that you guys tape it. That's all I can say right now. But taping it allows you to avoid that issue, at least. Those shows did well. Now,
I know.
I don't know if that had anything to do with Connor and Chandler that one year, because the Grasso one did horrible, didn't it? Well, not horrible, but it's
Not
just
horrible.
But the Connor Chandler numbers, like you guys were averaging like 500, 600 viewers, like on the live portion of it alone. And now it'll be part of our live take schedule. So hopefully that'll help, and Twitter will stop being a dunce in the process of it. Because
Squidward.
I don't know who's worse, Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg.
Elon Musk.
You mean him and his scientific formula of a son?
Well, that's like what, child one of a baker's dozen that he has.
Oh, does he? I don't even know. Wait. So he's in the Phillip Rivers and Antonio Cromartie camp.
Yep.
Correct. He's got a whole soccer starting 11 and 2 subs.
And Cromartie managed to have a kid even through a vasectomy. You know what? Before we go, I have to look up what the percentage proof of a vasectomy is.
Oh my God!
What is the percentage proof? Yes, since this is such rare stop it. Percentage proof of here we go.
It's like Whose Line with Drew Carey's buzzer.
That was one of my favorite shows growing up. Okay, so a vasectomy is considered over 99% effective. Is it? Is it 99% effective?
Hold on. Here's my response.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop you fucking lying.
Wait a minute. We turned into Nick DiMartino's Saturday show all of a sudden.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No! This is Patrick! I'm not a Krusty Krab.
Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant.
Huh? Fish paste!
Ugh.
All right.
See, this show goes off the rails and we don't even try to be.
And we go off the rails after we lock up for the night and everyone's paid the tab.
See, this is what happens when you don't close the tabs at a quick enough pace. Then you get people stragglers.
Well, then again, the bar I go to on Saturdays after work had a power outage. So they couldn't take orders, let alone get anybody, charge anybody on Saturday nights. They had a power outage.
Did you get it for free?
Yes, I did, but I couldn't get anything because all the power cut off the CO2 lines to the beer tabs.
Oh, so you couldn't even have a beer. What the fuck is that?
I had to go to bar B down below from the hill from my house.
Golly. Well,
it's all right.
I think that's it for the night. I think
that is it for the night.
We should close it again.
Thank you. Yes, all of you get out of here now, please. We're done. We'll see you back here Saturday with Nick DiMartino in the sports-centric, comedy-centric version of the program. Back on Saturday night or Sunday, one of the two. They're all
all the programs mixed together at this point. The 15 plus of them that we have. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See ya.